going on, everybody? Welcome back to another electric episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick. We got the household in the studio. Did you guys have a great weekend?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I did.
Yes. What'd you do?
I went to brunch. That's pretty much what I do every weekend. Went shopping.
Saturday and Sunday, or just one of the 2 days?
Just Saturday, and the Dodgers played. So I did learn I had a little crossover moment.
Wow.
Because I cannot say his name, but the baseball player that got screwed over with the OC lawsuit situation, relevant. I was like, oh.
You saw him?
No, like they were talking about him. And I was like, wait, that's the guy. And it clicked for me. I don't know. That's my biggest sports correlation.
Wow.
Okay. Why haven't you ever asked us to go to brunch with you on Saturday?
It is her favorite thing to do.
Yeah, it is. I don't know, because I feel like you guys are always busy.
I mean, sure. Yeah, we often are.
I
But
Didn't you guys go to a football game?
Sunday.
We did Sunday.
But Saturday, I think we just went
We went to brunch.
to brunch.
Oh, and wait, that's weird.
Yeah.
I wasn't texted about it.
Well, we're parents, and we just figured, Sierra's like popular and has place. Let's why would Sierra just want to come with the family?
Oh my God, that's all I do.
Yeah. It's giving Sierra wants to be in the club.
Oh.
Sierra wants to go and be on the table twerking, and it's
Wait, I'm thriving in
table.
life.
Where do you
Okay.
Where do you go to brunch?
My favorite spot is Casita right now in Sherman Oaks. It's really good Mexican food, really good drinks.
For brunch?
Yeah.
Time you eating?
Oh my God, babe, that's the other thing too. I go to brunch at 1,
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
lunch.
12:45. Yeah.
So that is lunch.
That is lunch.
The mimosas and the drinks specials are typically still going until 2:30. But
Well,
yeah.
you wake up early. What are you doing from 5 to 1 o'clock?
I went to Sculpt. I feel like y'all are just really getting in my business. I went to fucking Sculpt before, and then I got ready, and then I met up with my friend Autumn, and then we went and had brunch, and then I went to her house with her husband, and friends were over watching the baseball game, and I played with her son.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I actually am a family girl.
She's a
you know?
family girl.
All right.
I also went to Pilates Saturday morning, and it was not a good look for me.
Oh, why?
Well, I did throw up mid
Nuh-uh.
Pilates. I did.
Mm.
And it was very unfortunate because I was like, okay, I'm not feeling very good. Okay, maybe I need water. I need water. Rookie mistake. I didn't bring my own water. So I go over to where the waters are, and I take one out of the fridge, and I'm like, no, I need to go to the restroom. And there's already someone in the restroom. So I'm like, let me just, or he's still teaching the class. I'm like, let me just go back to my reformer. So I go back, and he's like, come on, you can do it, cheering me on. I'm like, no, I do. Is there only one restroom? He's like, there's only one. I'm like, okay, I think I have to go. And so thankfully, as soon as I walk over there, the girl comes out, I go in, yak it all up, yak city, come out, and the class is ending. And I'm like, oh, thank God. And then a sweet woman was like, hi, are you, I love the podcast. And I was like, please, I just yacked. You don't want to get too close. This isn't it was bad. It was really bad. And now I am so incredibly sore that I'm I felt nauseous the whole rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm so sore. I'm God, I don't think I can do this again.
Pilates is tough.
It's so fucking hard.
We haven't worked out.
But also, it's the thing is anytime I did any other workouts, because I've worked out post baby and post wedding, and I've been sore, but it's okay, my legs are a little sore. This is a full body soreness. My arms, my back, my legs, my butt, my toes, everything is sore.
No.
Not the toes.
We haven't, as a couple, it's been a maybe I threw a run in there, but we haven't worked out, period, in 5 or 6 weeks. Well, when she was at Pilates, River took a nap, and I was in our street because I couldn't go far, just running back and forth. First time I worked out in maybe a month. I'm sore too.
Did you work out because she worked out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
wait, that's cute though.
I should do something. I haven't done shit
He
in
felt
a month.
motivated by me being I have to go to a class.
Yeah, he's like, okay, shit.
He's like, no, me too. I have a class too.
I just ran back and forth and outside our front door.
Good for you.
Yeah, and then we went to a football game.
Then we went to the football game, and
Go Pack.
And
You played football, right?
Huh?
Not actually.
Well,
but
Nick,
I saw that little story.
Nick,
You're go far?
almost cut. Oh, well, yes, of course. But he did catch the foul ball. Matthew Stafford threw an incomplete pass.
I caught a ball.
And it did go into Nick's hands.
It was pretty great. And I was
directly?
on TV. We were on TV.
Oh,
yeah, you can't really make us out. When Tucker Kraft, see,
It could be anyone.
it could be anyone. But
Yeah.
that's definitely me. Right?
Look how long my arms are.
I see-
doing
I see
well.
the
I
hair.
was back there cheering, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so exciting for you.
I thought Tucker was gonna run me over. I thought he was gonna maybe do a Lambo leap at SoFi Stadium, but
You were just there like
I was like, hey,
Okay.
come get me.
He was. And I don't know if Tucker was like,
No.
I don't know.
Stopped
if
on
I
a dime.
So like I got a little confession.
Tell us.
One of my favorite things to do now is to slide into the DMs of some of my favorite players. I've realized I never would do this ever, you know. But I was like, I'm kind of famous. I feel like I have the smallest amount of clout, a little bit of a following. So every once in a while, when a player I enjoy watching does well, I'll just like send them a note being like, hey, big fan, good game. I try to keep it simple. I try not to like, make them feel like I'm going to be intrusive with questions. I try to act like I could be their friend. And honestly, they all reply. I'm
Really?
like, yeah, they all reply.
Jalen Reed did?
Jaden?
Did he respond?
He did. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
What did he say? You don't tell me. What did he say?
He said, anytime, bro. Because I said, thanks for taking the time. Because after the game, we had some really cool, we had seats in the end zone, and it was right where the Packer players walked in and out of their locker room.
Okay.
After the game, we were told
we were going to leave,
gonna leave.
and then the security people were like, just to let you know, the players come right back out.
Right
and we were
back
like,
out.
oh.
Okay. Meanwhile, I got a
stay.
ball. I'm like, maybe I can get some of them to autograph this. I've never looked like more of a fan.
I think you probably look like a little child.
No,
like
as they're coming out, he's like, Wicks, 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 Wicks.
No, literally.
And they're like still walking by.
And now he's like, do you want to go over there? I'm like, I really appreciate Natalie because like, she gave me permission to be a fan. Because I was like, this could get very, and she was like, it's cute. Because I was like, this is going to get real icky, real fast. Maybe like, Yeah, so anyways, I caught a ball. And then Luke Musgrave, tight end for the Packers, one of the guys I kind of DM'd. And he responded. We kind of,
it's going well.
his,
going
I
well.
believe, fiance, Maddie, he was like, she's a big fan of our show. Yeah.
Shout out
That's
Maddie.
shout out Maddie if you're listening.
We're trying to get dinner with them. We're trying to be friends.
Yeah.
But it was-
so here's a little nerve wracking. For my birthday, my PR team got me. I'm really in my like Packer fan era.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on that birthday present from Natalie. It's hasn't
still
shown
not
up.
here?
Okay, well, the shoes did, and then he didn't even fucking wear them to the game.
'Cause
He's
they
like, I think they're a little too tight.
I
was
really
like,
love the shoes, but I'm not sure if I need to size up a little bit. Anyways, because I really quite like them. So my PR team got me a signed Packer football, and it's from Luke Musgrave because they were like, well, we saw that you follow him, so we thought you were a fan, and I am a fan of Luke. I'm not trying to say, Luke, that I'm not a fan of your game. It was just more like I'm trying to be friends with this motherfucker, But I sent him. I was like, hey, my team got me a signed ball of yours, and he's like, yeah, cool. And then he's like, yeah, great. Yeah, thanks for supporting. Then he's walking out of the locker room. I'm like, Luke, and I think he thinks I might be stalking him. I'm a little worried about that.
But now Nick has 2 balls with Luke Musgrave's signature.
Because he signed another
Thank
ball.
God.
So now I have two Luke Musgrave autograph footballs.
What do you do with an autograph football?
I don't know.
It just
That's
sits on
what
the
I
mantle.
said to Nick. I said, you need an office so that we can put these in like shadow boxes on like a shelf because right now they,
Rolling around.
Jaden Reed came out, star, number 11, awesome. Great
had a
fit.
crazy
Had a crazy
catch
Also great
during the
style,
game.
just really cool player, up and coming superstar. He also signed the football, so shout out to Jaden Reed. Thank you. You probably don't listen to the show, but if word gets around, Jaden, we appreciate you. But yeah, he wrote back, so I now slide into the DMs of
And then the security officers
my
were
favorite
like,
players.
there are 6 minutes left. And Nick was like, we should just wait out for the 6 minutes, right? We should just like, wait 6 more minutes. And I was like, well, River is going to be going
Well-
down for the night.
well,
so we
the
should
truth
go
is, Matt-
home.
Natalie was hoping Matt LaFleur would come out, so
Oh.
Natalie could get a picture with Matt.
Who's this one?
Oh, Matt is
he's the head coach.
Oh.
He's the hottie of the NFL.
Oh.
Matt
He's
Matt
the hottie of the
LaFleur
NFL.
is Matt's a big fan.
Okay.
No.
No,
Why did you spell it like
I
that?
don't know. Lefroy?
No, Lefroy. So Justin
What
spelled
is it?
it. Lefeau.
Lefleur.
This man.
FLAU.
Oh, he's hot.
He's
cute.
He's
Different
very,
spelling for
very
sure.
handsome. Yeah.
We talked about this. With,
We talked about him with Peter Schrager and his
yeah.
beautiful wife, Bree, I believe is her name. We love them. We're fans of them. I was hoping to just maybe like lock eyes for just one quickly moment, but
I was
didn't
going to take a
happen.
picture. I was willing to take a picture, but he didn't come out.
I was definitely in my WAG era, and I feel like WAG is in just like wife of a big Packer fan.
Yeah.
And I was like taking a lot of pictures really fastly while Nick was chatting with these players, and I'm like, you should sign the ball, and I'm like, we should I want to be the one to take a photo of y'all. Like, Nick's way too cool to take a picture with you, but I want the photo.
Yeah.
Nice. Wing woman.
Truly, wag.
Me, I was like, oh my God! I was such a fan.
Keep it cool. Keep it cool.
So yeah. Yeah, that was our weekend.
Speaking of WAG, I think actually I was peeking on Maddie's Instagram, Luke's fiance, and I think she has a podcast that she's launching or something. So check it out, guys.
Pop off.
Bravo is launching a new show of the Kansas City Chiefs. Some of the wives of the Kansas City Chiefs players are putting a reality TV show together about what it's like to be married or dating or in a relationship with said Kansas City Chiefs players, except Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes will not be.
Be fucking for real. Did we really think they were going to be on Bravo reality TV? Come on.
We're so close to be operating in the same universe. They must be not thrilled, Brittany and Taylor, specifically Taylor.
Well, they're probably just like, I doubt they're going to be involved. Why
no,
would they,
but
this is like Hard Knocks where they follow just like certain
but it's not a coincidence that they chose the Kansas City Chiefs of all teams and the wives of those players to do this show. And while I don't doubt that Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes will not be part of it, I can't help but wonder
they're going to talk about them.
If the producers will try to get them to talk about them and discuss them and bring them up and be part of the conversations, which
they're going to. They have to. Yeah. And also, they're developing it, so it's uncertain whether it's going to happen or not. Technically, right?
Well, it's kind of a challenge too, because especially the NFL of all the major sports leagues, the average career of an NFL player is like 3 years or less. For all the quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady who played 20 years, that's not common. It's very rare, and even quarterback isn't the same as the rest of the players. So like, how do you do a TV show with an ensemble cast, knowing that like the husband might be cut at any moment or traded? And so I'm curious. Do they have any of the names of the players whose wives might participate in said show?
They do, and I might pronounce them wrong, so apologies for that. But McCole Hardman Jr.'s fiance, Shariah Gordon.
Well, so Hardman Jr., I believe he already was once cut, then traded to the Jets, came back, and won the game-winning touchdown of the Super Bowl last year. Anyways, but that's kind of my point. He's a backup.
Yeah.
So, like, he could definitely not be on the team by the end of the year or next year.
Yeah.
So,
well, then the other person that's referenced is Sheena Weathersby, who shares 2 kids with defensive tackle Chris Jones.
Chris Jones, he's a superstar. He ain't going nowhere. So there's that. So Chris Jones's partner is going to be on it. Okay, now I'm interested. He's got clout. Chris Jones, he's a big fucking deal. He's one of the better players in the whole league.
It is interesting though that Bravo is a mainly like female audience. And it's like football is mainly male audience, right?
Yeah.
And like the only show that's male audience on Bravo is like Below Deck.
Yeah.
So like this is their way of trying to like interject another.
Sure, but I think the ladies have always been interested in the
Chiefs,
the
wives,
being the partner of celebrities.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of relationships where like a lot of the players like will marry their college sweethearts. Other players will meet their partner, later in life. And then there's like, it seems like it to be a group of people who only date professional athletes.
Like football players that date other athletes.
No, I mean, like, I think there seems to be like, there's
like women that only like professional athletes.
Yeah, there are like some women who are just like,
Got it.
They went from dating one billionaire to another billionaire. Like sometimes people have a type, Sometimes that type is brown hair and sometimes that type is like catches footballs. Sometimes it's real love. Sometimes it's not.
Could be interesting.
It is interesting. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and they got picked up for season 2.
20 episodes.
20 episodes from 8.
So good.
Yeah. Well, and everybody's back as of now.
Yeah. And the running joke is Mom Talk did, in fact,
survive.
So.
Will they survive season 2? To be determined.
These women are committed to the bit.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't see it going anywhere anytime. We love Salt Lake. The city, everything it represents.
Or Utah in general.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's kind of this it's unique. Seems to have a lot of money, full of privilege, and with a lot of rules.
I was telling my friend that the Utah shows for anybody that has like a religious background will tickle your trauma. So it's like they have enough of that commentary to like tap into your experience, but also like blow it out of proportion.
That's good.
Yeah.
So
tickle your trauma.
Tickle your trauma.
What a delightful way of putting it.
Did we want to vibes football real fast before we?
Oh,
Just that?
speaking of football, congratulations to me. I went 2-0.
But you're also still losing, so.
I needed a comeback.
But you haven't come back yet because you're still losing.
What is the season record?
We're 5-5. You're 4-6. So we've.
I'm one
picked-
game behind.
Exactly.
Well, it's a long season.
Not a
I'm
comeback
just saying.
yet.
I'm just saying. Did you guys go 0-2 or 2-0?
No, we went 1-1.
You went 1-1. Oh, so I caught up on a game. So the Packers won.
Mhm.
Yay! You know why I knew the Vikings would? Because you guys should have picked up on this. Because you guys are all about the vibes. But the Minnesota Vikings intercepted a pass, and you know how they celebrated that pass by doing the handshake from the Parent Trap.
That's so cute.
But we didn't know they were going to do that.
I feel like you should have.
Crickets.
I know.
How though? What was their previous touchdown celebration?
I don't know. Mary clearly didn't do her homework.
Oh.
I think
Maybe we should look into that. Like, how do they celebrate touchdowns? That's a good
handshakes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
previous
The dance.
touchdown
Yeah.
celebrations.
What's the dance?
Are they too
We can
cocky?
have
Yeah.
Mary.
Yeah, how creative can they be? Doing the Parent Trap celebrations pretty iconic.
That's pretty iconic.
Yeah.
That's a lot to memorize, and they worked on it hard.
Yeah,
And they did pretty good.
They nailed it.
They
I
did.
could hear the music in my head.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, no, that's cute.
I think the Jets lost because Natalie said nobody looks good in purple, and I had purple hair, and we voted for the Jets, and it
I
was
did. I'm
like,
so sorry. I said that, and then after we wrapped, Justin was like, "No," and you shot me down in my car. And I was
Like,
like,
girl, I
I
know.
am actually so sorry. But it's not purple. It's not.
every day is a
It's
new
like-
color.
Yeah.
now it's like a pink,
the more you wash it,
brown.
the lighter
Like a
it
human
gets.
kaleidoscope.
It's like it's like a colorful plum.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
hairstylist, colorist, Alex at 901 Salon, I was telling him about what
no.
you've been going through, and he was like, the whole red to dye. He was like, that is like textbook. So that is like,
so she was right, but
she
wrong.
was right, but it was like she hasn't had a lot of
Experience doing it.
experience. She just read the textbook, and it was like, to get this, you do this. And he was like, that's just, he's like, but tell him to come in, I'll fix it.
Well,
So
what's his name?
his name is Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Alex. He's really great at what he does.
A lot of people did reach out, and I love the support, but I'm also like, I have trust issues now. So everybody's like, you got to do this to fix it. I'm like, I honestly can't.
No. Yeah, no, I know.
I just let it ride.
The
Yeah.
second you ask for advice is like this, or even if you don't ask for advice and people just give you their takes, it's like, whoa, all right,
Yeah.
that's enough
It's a
there.
scary place out
I
here.
got helpful
Yeah.
advice, but also Sally's was helpful, and here I am. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Was it though?
I mean, she textbook
tried.
advice. She pointed me in the right direction. Just
textbook.
the wrong color.
Firecracker red instead of auburn.
Yeah. A little different.
All right, well, we got a great show lined up for you today. We got Joey and Kelsey returning to the Viall Files fresh off of Joey's dance from last night. He did a backflip. It was awesome. We were there.
We were there.
And now we've been
That
all
was
over
my
the place.
that was my first time at Dancing with the Stars. Nick and I have been together for 4 years, and he's literally never taken me, and that was so fun.
I'm an asshole.
No, it was so fun. It seriously was so fun.
And we got to meet some of the Golden Bachelors. Jack, who we interviewed,
We met
was
him in real
there
life.
along
met
with
Keith.
Keith.
We met
Jonathan.
Jonathan and
No Joan.
Joan and Gary.
One of my
Yeah,
faves.
Tina Turner's got
We
some.
sat with them. It was they're so fun. They're such a delight.
Really charming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Jonathan there for Jen?
Jonathan also was there for Jen. Other Jonathan, Bachelorette Jonathan was there. Yes,
Sitting
he
next to
was.
Susie Evans.
Sitting next to
Oh,
Susie Evans.
Susie.
Starting rumors.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think they're
No,
just
no.
friends.
Yeah, they are just friends. So
Um,
was Justin Glaze, Marshall Glaze, cousin,
And
Kelsey.
also Tom Schwartz and his lovely
Tom
girlfriend.
Schwartz,
Oh.
his lovely girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yes, it was honestly jam packed in there.
Multiverse.
Truly, it was very fun.
Who were Tom Schwartz? Who's he there to see? Just
That's
for
a great
fun?
question. We didn't really
We
answer.
were just like, oh my gosh, so great to see you.
He's just like big fans. Yeah, he's there for every taping now. I think. No,
Really?
I think he's
Him and
just
Jonathan, regular.
Oh
secret-
yeah, I guess.
a secret giant
Or
Dancing with the
no.
Stars fan.
Yeah.
How long was the taping?
It's 2 hours. It's live.
Live?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
live. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I mean, this particular episode was taped live because you had the VP debate last week, and so it aired last night. They have another episode tonight, so if you want to continue to support Joey and Jen, tune in tonight and vote for them. Plus, we also got Monica from Love is Blind this episode as well. This Thursday on Reality Recap, get ready. Your America's sweetheart, Charles, Golden Bachelor himself, joins us. I think he's on vacation. right now, and he's taking time out of his vacation to speak with us. So we are honored to speak with Charles. That is this Thursday. Lots to get into. What's going on in Bravo OC world? Also, oh, by the way, we saw Andy Cohen this weekend. Also, what a
We did see Andy
jam-packed
Cohen.
weekend. Yeah.
John Mayer.
How
Wow.
was he?
Well, I kind of awkwardly, I saw Andy. I was like, Andy! And we've talked a few times. Like, I like to say I
Is that
know
how you got
Andy.
his attention?
Kind of, yeah. And then I was like, you look good. And when I was like, I didn't know what to say. He was walking fast. I was like, I just told him he looked good, which he did. He did look good. But I was really self-conscious about like, why did I just tell him he looked good?
This-
Everybody
It
wants
was a
to think that they
weekend of
look good.
fanboying.
I was like a
for Nick.
fangirl weekend.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I'm
really, I
jealous.
really respect Andy Cohen and his career. And then we went in this, we were at Chain Fest. Very cool. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's this like festival where they like get a lot of old nostalgic chain restaurants together. And then like they bring in like chefs to kind of put their own unique spin at some more iconic, chains like KFC and Portillo's was there. It was very cool. Anyways, Andy Cohen, John Mayer, they showed up. There was like this VIP area. And then Andy came up and said hi, and I introduced him to Natalie. And then
It was wonderful.
it was wonderful. Yeah.
Ah.
I guess he was in town to shoot the
OC?
reunion for OC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which apparently Emily's glam artist like outed her and Gina's look.
I saw that.
Is that like that's not okay, right?
No.
No. I mean, technically,
No.
Bravo doesn't let you do it usually until they release their photos.
But why are they letting makeup artists with phones on set recording? It seems like
It
a
depends.
rookie mistake for someone who's definitely not a rookie.
It depends on the production company, I think. Because I know for Salt Lake City, they made everybody sit in like separate rooms, and you
Uh-huh.
couldn't have like your devices.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So different production company.
Well,
Yeah.
they learned.
Anyways,
Well, and Tamra and Shannon are sitting next to Andy, so they're like the immediate chairs.
what
And
does that
that-
what does that tell us?
Sierra, how would you describe it? Like usually the first chairs are always like the most prominent storyline of the season.
Well,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So remember, like,
Yeah.
wasn't Lindsay and Carl the first chairs for Summer House?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like that kind of
Okay.
theme.
Okay.
Well, Tamra, Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been
Monica and Heather were last year.
Mhm.
in Salt Lake. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, speaking of Halloween decorations, did you see Kourtney Kardashian's her like decoration that she's getting like quote unquote like criticized for?
Were we talking about Halloween decorations?
No, I'm just saying speaking.
Okay.
I watched Natalie just go.
I'm speaking of Halloween decorations.
So yes, you are speaking of
Yes.
them in this next. Yes, of course. Okay, Kourtney Kardashian has Halloween decorations.
Just before we move on to the reality TV
Well,
world.
of course. Yes.
Did you see her decorations of
No.
2 skeletons? So she
I
posted
did.
like a feed of like fall dump, whatever it is. And essentially you have 2 skeletons blow up. One is
Yeah.
straddling the other one
Mm-hmm.
on the lap, like
Can I see
kissing.
it?
Yes. Like about to kiss the other skeleton.
Oh.
It's very Travis.
It
and
is very
Kourtney.
Kourtney
Yes,
and Travis.
it's on theme for them.
It's very on theme.
But people
I
are
definitely
saying
wanted to say people need to like relax, but this is definitely
It's slightly
People
sexual.
are so fucking sensitive. They literally all of her kids watch her straddle Travis every single day. Like, how is
Yeah,
this any different?
I don't know if this is about her kids. Yeah, kind of thing. I think maybe other parents are kind
It's
of like
in their yard. You know how gated and private their
That
yard
is
is? You
true.
think neighborhood kids are walking by and seeing that?
on Halloween.
Absolutely
okay,
not.
I guess you have a point there. I don't know.
Well, maybe
So
on
then
That
Halloween.
is so close
Who's
to the house.
Do they live in a gated community? You know,
I'm still
There's other
people
people?
still trick
People
or
in the
treat.
comments are complaining and being like, "No, you put this how dare they're,
so
they're
not
t-
people in the neighborhood.
Well, we don't know.
Well, haven't talked to anyone in her neighborhood, but it looks like
I don't want to
response-
be like Mr. Boring, but I guess if we were like trick or treating in a neighborhood and River's like 6 years old, I don't know if
I'm
that's-
telling you right now, the Kardashians do not have children coming up to their door.
You don't think so?
Absolutely,
they don't live in a
not.
gated neighborhood.
No.
Well, they
Why are you
do.
looking at me like I'm
I
just,
just
like,
feel like
shit on her
I,
lawn?
No, I just am saying, like, I really don't think that this is like set up for the neighborhood kids.
Yeah, valid point.
Their
yeah.
house is so
So
security.
what's the
it's-
drama?
I think people on Instagram are pissed because she posted in a fall dump, and people on Instagram are like, "How fucking dare you?"
Yeah. I think some people think that it is like a trick or treating like path, which it could be maybe.
Are they mad for the trick or treaters, or are they mad for her children?
I think they're mad
For
for
both. They're
both.
mad for kids walking by and seeing it. And then they're like, how do you, if your kids are watching, like looking at that, where you do make a very valid point that I'm sure they're seeing it in real life with flesh.
Okay,
on
mine.
them.
You're right. Listen, I guess if the Kardashians are getting shit online, I guess they knew they were gonna get shit online. I mean,
Anyways.
you're probably. I'm certain you're right, but I don't think most people who look at that picture think no one's seeing this. They're
no, they're sensitive as fuck, and they're like,
No, yeah. Listen, I wouldn't be going in her comments being like that's inappropriate. But objectively speaking, if there was someone in our neighborhood with that, would you you would do it, like maybe not for the kiddos.
Because
No?
what if River was older and she's like, "Mommy, Daddy, what is that?"
Oh,
What do you say?
This is the conversation we're going to start. I mean, come on. There are so many things in this world that people are like
That is true.
not setting children up for success to have conversations this early in life. Like this, come on, 2 inflatable
That's a good point.
skeletons. Like there are much bigger things people are doing. Pushing onto children nowadays. Anyways,
I mean, I guess.
Well,
Sure.
Said.
sorry.
Okay.
Period.
No, well, go fuck ourselves. Moving on.
I did.
Speaking of Halloween, no, I don't know.
No, literally speaking of.
Wait, no, but there's another one. So I saw this video that's going viral recently, and basically there's this Instagrammer Annie who posted a video
What's
Halloween.
Annie's last name? Let's give her. Let's
It's
give
just
Annie
at
some.
Annie on Instagram.
What's his name? Okay, well.
Kind of iconic.
Annie Schaefer.
Oh, just kidding.
Yeah. That is iconic though. So basically, she posted this video saying Halloween costumes for your ugly boyfriend.
That's so mean.
fucked up.
So we can interpret this as like either your boyfriend's not as attractive or you don't like your boyfriend and you're making him dress however you want.
That's
Right,
awful.
right,
That's
right,
absolutely
right.
awful.
Okay, so here's the examples. We can
Break
run
up.
through them.
No, break up. Like we're humiliating him on
Yeah.
on Halloween.
I were dating like a Chris Hemsworth, and somebody he looked at me and goes, "Okay, so I have a list of costumes that would be
It's
acceptable
gonna
for
be
our."
a trash bag over your head.
How do you feel? How do you feel?
She was playful about it. So she
Okay.
wasn't like digging. Like she was kind of alluding that it might be an ex or
What
something.
do we got? What do we
Okay,
got?
okay,
So
let's hear.
basically, there's Adam's family, Uncle Fester, and then the girl with the pink dress.
Mm-hmm.
So like your boyfriend's the bald man in the black.
Yeah.
And then we have Hugh Hefner, old man, and a Playboy bunny. So she was like, specifically, if your boyfriend's older, make him Hugh Hefner. Then we have,
If Nick had more gray hair, I would say let's go for it. But you know, Nick is giving young.
he's not giving Hugh.
He's not giving Hugh.
You're giving Hugh's son.
He's giving like
Jesus.
yeah. I
that
don't know
bad?
if he's
I
related
don't-
to Hugh.
Okay, maybe not.
But he is just giving like young and hot, and not like old and creepy.
Okay.
Good, valid.
Yeah,
okay.
good vibes. Okay,
Princess Leia and Jabba the Hutt.
that's awful.
Oh my God.
That's absolutely
Wow.
awful.
Miss Bellum and the Mayor from Powerpuff Girls.
Okay.
Oh no.
Jessica Rabbit and Roger Rabbit.
Well, we
I feel like
did
that
that.
one's cute.
We did that one,
That
and
one's
honestly,
cute.
we made it.
I
We
went
made it cute.
as, Roger Rabbit.
No, but we made it cute. We didn't
Right.
make it. I wasn't like
Mhm.
no.
Is that why
No.
you suggested it, Natalie?
Yeah.
She's like,
No,
I'm
no.
hot.
The only reason, the only reason we even suggested is because I had red hair, and we were like, red hair, red hair, red hair. Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who goes with
Duh.
Jessica Rabbit?
This one's hot, for the record, I
She
think
got
so.
no. You know
We
what
made it
was?
hot, though.
She was like, "I'm going as Jessica Rabbit."
No, well, obviously, I feel
What are
like
you doing?
No,
I was like, "Oh,
No, we can talk about this if we want to talk about it. Who the fuck makes up the Halloween costumes every fucking year?
You.
Thank you. And it's like set up. It's like last minute. Nick's like, well, what are we going to be? And I'm like, well, what do you want to be? And he's like, I don't fucking know. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to figure this out. This year, I already know what we're going to be, but I haven't told Nick yet because I haven't gotten anything for it. Do you want to know?
I do.
You guys should go to Heidi Klum's party.
Well,
Yeah,
if
for
she would
sure.
invite us.
We can make that happen.
Also, I don't know if I'm creative enough to come up with some sort of costume for that.
Just
you know?
put Nick in the Jessica Rabbit, and then you could be the other
I
one.
can be Roger the Rabbit.
Yeah. For like
Yeah.
prosthetics. Anyways, other examples. This one's funny to me. Poison ivy and a tree.
oh,
tree.
same Halloween." She went as
But
as
I went as Poison Ivy because I had the red hair, but Nick wasn't a tree.
the same Halloween.
No, Nick wasn't a tree.
Yeah.
You were, who was that superhero?
No, it was. I don't give a fuck who you are. And so I went as a skeleton
No, you didn't.
to the same one.
No, you weren't a skeleton. It had to do with Poison Ivy.
Superman. Batman.
No, it
Cute
was
face.
Poison Ivy's.
The Riddler, or
The Riddler. Thank you. You went as
Oh,
the
he's hot,
Riddler.
But
He's
I
hot.
didn't.
You
Oh.
did.
Oh, maybe
You
I
did. Thank you.
But
You
I
did. He was
also-
the Riddler. He wasn't
I-
a tree.
But I also put like a skull face and then put like a question mark.
That was when I was
that's
that was when I was Tomb
Laura-
Raider, Laura
Tomb Raider,
Laura
yeah.
Croft.
Ooh, Tomb Raider's hot.
And
Yeah, I
we
put a question mark
literally,
on
it was
a
so
tank
last
top.
minute, and we were like, what the fuck are we gonna do?
I put a question mark on a tank top.
That was for the Riddler.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't, I went to find the outfit and they only had like 3XL. And I was like, I'm like, Nick, this isn't just, it's not gonna work. Let's just DIY it.
Yeah.
I've learned that I'm ugly.
No.
No, no.
You weren't,
That's fine.
you were the
No,
Riddler.
it's
You weren't a
fine.
tree.
It's fine. I'm in my dad era. I don't really care what I look like. It's fine.
But she said for Roger Rabbit, make sure you cover that man up. And you weren't
I was
covered
in a
up.
full
You were,
rabbit costume.
yeah, he was.
do we have the photo? But you weren't covered up. Your whole face was out. That's giving hot rabbit.
That is hot.
hot.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Well, the last example she gave was Romy and Michelle dress the boyfriend as the Post-its.
Okay.
Well,
Well, honestly, I feel like she set some couples up for,
Failure.
oh, we're playing this TikTok. honestly,
I look like a guy who's like, fuck my life.
No, you look like
No, you
you're
look
hot, so you're
hot.
like,
thank you. You looked hot.
it's like a last minute, I don't care about the costume, but my face gives.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
cozy.
Yeah.
Got a
like
nice little
face
hood.
card. Sorry, face card never declines. Period. Anyways, okay.
Reality TV.
Reality TV.
So,
Speaking of,
Love is Blind, speaking of. We all criticized, or not criticized, but we like speculated on, did Hannah write the notes about Nick like on purpose? Did she leave it out on purpose? She clarified and said, I say things, it just comes out. And so for me, if I write it down, it helps me. It's just so writing a list is maybe things you need to work on or red flags maybe I'm seeing. I don't think I regret it because I think it helped us. And I think he knew the things that I needed from him. So she's clarifying that those letters were like a journal, essentially.
she's organized. She's
Yeah.
writing down her thoughts before she's thinking before she
Yeah.
speaks.
So it's implied that it was accidental. It wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, she at least communicated.
She did.
Could have been more of a passive aggressive approach. So
True. But
Yeah.
also, I'm sure if any of us read our partner's journal, we would be triggered by something. Right?
Oh, well, absolutely.
So
yeah. Well, we'll get into it more later this episode when we get into Love is Blind with Monica. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet, and the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going cha-ching. No, their app literally goes cha-ching. Every time you make a sale, it goes cha-ching. It's really fun. We use Shopify here at NV Media, and you should be using it too. Doesn't matter if you're a business of 1 or a business of 100 million, Shopify can grow with your business. It's super easy to use. It works with so many different apps that, depending on what your business needs, you can really customize your Shopify experience to tailor it to your business. And again, it grows with your business. It's absolutely awesome. The customer service is great. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Viall Files merch. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/VIALL, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/VIALL now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/VIALL, all lowercase.
Skin changes over time, and it can be so overwhelming to figure out the right products for your skin, which is why we are so excited to partner with Apostrophe, the sponsor of this episode. Apostrophe is an online platform that connects you with an expert dermatology team to get customized acne treatment for your unique skin.
Apostrophe's goal is to help you feel confident in your own skin, whether you're dealing with breakouts, signs of aging, or acne scarring. Apostrophe will help you love the skin you're in.
Through Apostrophe, you can get access to oral and topical medications that use clinically proven ingredients to help clear acne. Simply fill out an online consultation about your skin goals and medical history, then snap a few selfies, and a dermatology provider will create a customized treatment plan just for you. Apostrophe offers access to prescription treatments for all types of acne, from hormonal acne to facial acne and even back, chest, and butt acne. Treat breakouts from head to toe.
And stop waiting for weeks to get an appointment with a dermatologist when you can just get the help you need from Apostrophe. We have a special deal for our audience. Get your first visit for only $5 at apostrophe.com/VIALL. when you use our code VIALL. That's a savings of $15. This code is only available for our listeners. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/VIALL and click Get Started. When you use our code VIALL, that is apostrophe APOSTROPHE.com/VIALL, and you'll get your first visit for only $5. Thank you, Apostrophe, for sponsoring this episode.
should we jump to the Vanderpump?
What's going on at Vanderpump?
Have you seen the Jax and Brittany stuff?
I mean the
Oh,
Valley.
yeah.
Or-
Justin.
Well, the Valley. But like, to
Well-
me, it's always an extension of Vanderpump.
They're Vanderpump family.
Yeah.
They're officially divorced.
So
We don't know
yeah,
yet.
well, not officially, but the paperwork was filed for like the custody, essentially giving Brittany the full custody, but Jax filled his own paperwork out. So
Quick question.
yeah.
Was this put anywhere else besides Reddit?
yes.
Okay.
So Jax filled out the paperwork himself, represented himself, and for one of the questions, it was, "Are you legally married?" He checked no.
Well-
But they're not divorced yet. So basically, Jax's lawyer came out and he said, in the legal paperwork, he incorrectly declared that he and Brittany were not legally married. Jax and Brittany have already long resolved all matters related to custody of Cruz and will continue to work together privately for the best interest of their son, which remains their overriding concern. While Jax made errors in filing out forms that are usually done by trained legal professionals, those errors will be amended without delay. On the forms, he incorrectly declared that he and Brittany were not legally married. And then in comments, Brittany commented, "We are legally married. I'm guessing paperwork is hard for some people."
Oh, paperwork is hard for some people.
This
It
is
is.
giving sad and yucky. But it's also like giving like prepping us for a storyline of the upcoming season.
Yeah.
I mean, they did successfully do that for season 1.
And they are done filming. So this is happening after the conclusion of that.
Yeah, but it's everything that's going on with him, not so coincidentally, is playing out in the press.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen unless they want it to happen on some level.
They could pick up cameras.
Whether they're picking up cameras or not, I'm just saying, like, this is like such an odd story to cover, even on this show, because it's, it came out not too long ago that Jax was diagnosed with bipolar. It's we're talking about mental health problems here. He was in a mental health facility, and now he's out. But it's Jax Taylor, and what do we know about Jax Taylor? It's just like, where's the TV stop and the reality began? We don't really know. He's demonstrated a willingness to like use literally anything for self-promotion for whatever TV show he's on. And I don't know, this story is just sad. And, you got to fall out of a family. You got child custody, all these very real life serious issues. And it seems kind of uncomfy to even discuss and speculate. But we know full hand that they are using this as press and promo for an upcoming season and storyline. Because, again, everything is play by play out in the press. It's like, whether it's on rumors on Reddit or in the press, it's like we're getting a front row seat to this divorce, and it just kind of I don't know.
It is messy.
It's not a coincidence that everything is out there. It's just not with this group of people who knows how to self promote and put out a storyline. I hate question the authenticity of something that
It's so serious.
is so serious and like I don't know. So Jax, what we thought last week, Jax was giving Brittany sole custody of their child, which quite honestly felt like kind of like a very selfless and nice thing for Jax to do, given where he's at in his life. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It just seems like he posted bad paperwork online, and now instead of representing himself, he's doing the right thing and getting lawyers. But again, the whole idea of representing himself in the first place and putting this out there, it's like, what are we doing here?
We'll just wait to see what happens on the Valley next season. Seems like it's going to be a very interesting season.
When does the season come out? Do we know?
That we
They
do
haven't.
not know yet.
June 4th was the finale. So so it's going to be spring into the summer
Okay.
if we follow the same timeline as the last one.
Okay.
What else we got?
OC, Shannon responded to the Jolkin booster.
Oh, what did she say?
So for OC, Shannon responded to the Jolkin booster. We recapped kind of that situation last week. During the Vicky and Shannon live show, basically Shannon was talking about it, saying, I really don't know what it's about, because an hour earlier that night before the wrap party, he had tears in his eyes and he said, I'm so happy for you. He trashed my daughters. He said that he hopes that I suffer. He said that he feels sorry for John Jansen. He says that I'm nothing but a pathetic drunk. It's really going to look silly for him because he had nothing but love for me the entire show.
Yeah, that's
a
pretty
clap back.
wild.
That's
Yeah.
a clap back. I'm going to say, who do we believe? But like,
Why? I mean,
that's a
like,
definitive statement for Shannon.
yeah.
to
Why
say.
would
Yeah.
Shannon like make up that he had tears in his eyes and said, "I'm so happy for you"? Like, and his claim, like that was some crazy aggressive ass shit to say about someone.
1,000%.
Like, I hope you suffer is honestly like a scary ass statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's aggressive. And again, like I've been on set with people who I thought were terrible people. I don't want them to suffer. That I was
I
just
don't want
like,
anyone to suffer.
I was
Like,
just
that's
like, you're just kind of a
crazy.
jerk.
Yeah.
Maybe you should stop being a jerk. But like, I didn't want them to suffer.
Has Joel Kim Booster said anything else since this? No, he
You know
I mean,
who-
I would assume he was silent.
You know who now follows or did follow Joel?
You.
Alexis.
Oh.
Messy.
Can we confirm? Can we confirm?
Messy, messy,
Does she still?
messy.
She's following him.
She went and followed him.
She went home petty,
Messy.
petty. And so Alexis, because on this episode, so confused as to why Shannon wasn't receiving her, what she
Olive
called
branch.
olive branch. I don't get Alexis,
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
but at least Alexis, it's more like, all right, fine, you're under the spell of John, you're committed to the bid, you're supporting your partner. I am more blown away once again by the rest of this fucking cast. Sans Shannon.
Them telling her to soften that.
It's fucking crazy.
Why?
It's the most appropriate response.
Because we all fucking know that if Shannon did not send this text saying, you are not invited, Alexis would have somehow weaseled her fucking
up.
way to London.
Mhm.
We all know it.
And it's just like, why I don't understand. Like, what it was harsh. How was it harsh? It was direct.
The woman literally looked at Shannon across the table and like threatened her well-being over John Jansen face to face. And I'm like, so we're acting like these conversations and these moments didn't happen, but yet Shannon should be concerned about Alexis's feelings. your boyfriend is suing me and you're doing nothing to stop it.
I think Emily had it right, and I mean, she said this in her ITM, so like, who knows if she actually said this to Alexis, but her being like, her continuously wanting to like mend things with Shannon while simultaneously suing her and like wishing her life to rot in hell is like the weirdest juxtaposition. It's like, what are we?
Yeah.
But pick one.
I'm going to threaten to release videos,
Yeah.
or I'm accept my flowers and take me on a trip overseas.
I got you flowers. Fuck.
The fuck? In what world?
But again, it's just more like I expect Alexis to be a little delulu, and like we've all been in relationships where we were just blinded by love and loyalty only to get out of it and been like, oh my God, you know. And I'm not saying Alexis deserves compassion because she'll see the light in the future. I don't know. But we've all been there. But it's the rest of the cast that I'm just kind of blown away that once again, what I keep asking myself, what the fuck are we missing? Like, because John came on, right? John made an appearance, Mr. I hate the spotlight.
A jump scare,
You know,
yeah.
Mr. I don't want attention.
Truly a jump scare. Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I got hard evidence. I got emails proving that she owed me money. And
Who the fuck cares?
yeah, that's not, even if that's true, the manner in which they're going about it, because this is more than just the money. This is clearly what seems to be an attempt at a public execution. Kind of, they're trying to ruin her credibility, and that's spiteful and mean.
I will say, not that I'm defending them, but something that Alexis had said in this episode, or I think Katie like re-said what Alexis said, where she was like, they're doing this as a response for when the show comes out. Like that made a little more sense to me.
No, John said
Statute of limitations was
Yeah.
running
Yeah.
out.
he was like, my hands were tied because of the statute of limitations. What do you mean your hands were tied? I mean, you don't have to sue.
Yeah. Who's suing you to sue her?
No, but that's what I'm saying, that it made, like, I'm not defending it, but it made some sense that they were kind of like the People magazine article, like that stuff all happened because they knew that the show would come out showing how horrible they were, so that they were trying to create like a net of like collateral damage to like protect it, which is weird. Still, it's backwards.
Unfortunately, sometimes you have to sue because you have no other options.
Yeah.
And again, who owes what in a dating situation? It's even if I think card evidence, I find to be questionable. Maybe there's some sort of like language where it suggests that maybe she was going to pay back. I don't know. But in a dating situation, it seems less clear to me, especially for a guy who loves to be with housewives. I mean, like John's kind of giving wag.
No.
You know, like some people, like I said earlier in the episode, it's like they always seem to be dating the ball players.
Mm-hmm.
Some, John's like always dating the housewives. It's like he's arm candy. Or at least he fancies himself as.
I
Yeah.
just cannot take Alexis Bellino trying to play the victim. It's laughable.
It is interesting, yeah. When she
Also-
kicked Katie and Jen out, I
It
was
was like sobbing to
I'm
John.
done. Enough.
What are you so hurt by?
Well, like this is kind of where I'm like, you're unintentionally aiding in what Shannon says about your influence with John, because you saw from that entire reaction that she's gonna go up there, talk about how hard Shannon's making life for her, how all she's trying to do is be kind and getting shot down left and right, which is just gonna aid if John loves her the way that he claims. He's gonna be like, I need to protect you, or go harder on Shannon, where it's like, just leave the woman alone. She wants nothing to do with you. Also, what bothered me was the flower arrangement being sent at her birthday party, where that's such a petty housewife move,
Mhm.
sending the arrangement when you're not invited to something, so your presence is known.
I mean, that's just a TV. That's just creating a scene.
For sure. But what I'm saying is that like Alexis is acting as if it's like she's doing everything so genuinely to get Shannon to like her. And it's like, you've done nothing
For sure.
one-on-one, sent her a text message to have a conversation. You're like, here's the big announcement so everybody will feel bad for me
At
because
the-
look at how much I'm putting myself out
So she
there.
can be in an episode.
Yeah, at the fashion show, her being like, well, I want to have a one-on-one talk with her. Like, someone go get her and tell her that we should have a talk.
Literally.
And it's like, at this event, like, while you're filming? No,
The
I don't
backyard
either.
party.
No.
The
Showing up
new
and
girlfriend
distraught.
to your ex-boyfriend who's facilitating in a lawsuit, who also got the same dog that you got and is mimicking your every move in life. I don't want to be friends with you.
I don't want to be friends with you. I'm
Yeah.
afraid I'll fall asleep and I'll wake up and you've already sewn my skin onto your skin.
But I just,
Oh.
I don't understand why the rest of the cast is acting inconvenienced by this harassment towards Shannon. I mean, it seems clear that like none of these women really are friends with Shannon or respect her, it seems like. And I think they feel like, maybe Shannon's been messy. She's got her issues. She seems to be owning up to that. And I can't help but wonder if they kind of just like want her to be put in her place for some reason. I can't. That's the only thing that makes sense because like they all act like this isn't that big of a deal, and I don't know what we're missing.
I like how Gina phrased it in our last RR when she was like, you had asked her, like, what's your relationship with Shannon? And she basically said, like, well, she's done a lot to me and like I really didn't feel that close to her. But then you were like, who's the closest to Shannon? And you were like, me and Emily. So she's like, it felt weird to even say anything, but also like at the end of the day, someone had to do it. So like in Gina's situation, she's like, I kind of spoke up, but not really.
Yeah, but I just feel like the rest of maybe Shannon has her flaws and she's done her shit to everyone here. But like, I feel like this is not the fight to pick with her.
At the end of the day, like, I feel like people can fuck me over left and right and be terrible people. But like when something is fucking wrong, I will always stand up and be like, this is wrong. Like, what are we doing? Like, I might not like this person. They might have like fucked me over in so many ways, but like, we're not about to do this. And it's just like so weird to me that it's all of these grown fucking women who have all been through so much in their lives. They've all made fucking mistakes. They're like, ooh, sorry, not my business. Like, I'm just like friends with both of you. It's like, I just don't really want to get involved. Weird. It's weird.
It's weird. Just don't pretend to be Shannon's friend then.
Right.
Because you're not. Like, these people are not. If I'm Shannon, I'm like, they're not your friends. Like, now and I with these conversations, especially in LA, like there's acquaintances and there's friends. And sometimes you have to remind each other, these people are not our friends. You know, like you just see how people move or whatever. It's just like, you at the end of the day, like, what can you ask of these of people? Like, these people are not Shannon's friends. They are her coworkers at fucking best. And some of them are her enemies. Tamra, like, she just keeps defending Alexis. Like, clearly she has something against Shannon.
Well, and she's the one that dubbed Alexis Jesus Jugs, right?
Yeah.
That I'm just like, it's funny. She had an issue with Alexis the entire time Alexis was on the show back in the day. Now that she has a problem with Shannon, she favors Alexis. And it's just like, again, nothing genuine for me.
So in the teaser for the next episode, we get a tease at something about Jeff Lewis again. I feel like Jeff Lewis is like left and right getting like thrown into some drama. Real Housewives of New York first, and now we're over here in OC. And now I see he responds to the Joel Kim Booster claims. Like, what's
Yeah, so he responded because we know Jeff Lewis is like friends with like housewives to different degrees. But basically he said, I spoke to her, this is in reference to Shannon, I spoke to her either the night or 2 nights before she was leaving for Mexico, and I didn't think she was in a great place, and I was concerned. So this is like talking about for filming. For Love Hotel. I think it's possible that, and I can only speak for myself, sometimes if I'm dealing with a lot of stress or I'm maybe emotionally not totally 100% stable, you may act out.
Yeah. I think that's valid. I mean, I think we talked about that when we read Joel Kim Booster's first statement, and we were like, listen, like, we know she's not doing well. And like, I think we offer her grace when someone's like...
Yeah, I don't doubt Shannon had a day or two where she might have been difficult or inappropriate or, maybe just a little rude. And maybe she deserves an apology. And maybe if I were on set with her, I would have a different opinion, Shannon, than I do now. Kind of been like, oh, she's a little off-putting. But wanting them to suffer and wishing ill on her family is like...
aggressive.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Super hardcore. Yeah, it doesn't... Maybe we're just off. Maybe we're missing something because these reactions that these people are having towards Shannon Beador are just don't add up. From Joel Kim Booster to John Jansen, they are treating it as if she's like secretly after midnight she turns into like some sort of evil spirit and like casts spells on these people.
No,
that's what I'm saying. That's the energy that these people are giving towards Shannon for being, I don't know what is she doing?
I think Shannon has the ability to be a lot. We've seen that in past seasons. She's gone through divorces on the show. She's lawsuits, whatever. And I'm like, as she's healing and she's just not, she can't contain herself. Like, I feel like when she's feeling emotions.
We're talking about housewives. Like, we're talking about LA. We're talking about housewives. Shannon's not the first, high maintenance, maybe somewhat self-centered when she's going through it, where she acts out. Yeah. She's not the first and that's what I'm saying. Like, this has gone from maybe Shannon deserves a little criticism to people like trying to ruin her because their opinion of her is so dark and so negative. It doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Do we think Joel Kim Booster is going to be like, quote unquote, held accountable for this statement?
What do you think would happen? Because he's in the show.
Not brought back for season 2.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. Did he say in his threats of like, it's going to come out, like we're going to see something in the show, or was it like...
He said, DM me for the videos.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. I was
This
like,
poor Shannon. Everyone's like, I have videos, and I'm gonna put them out.
What is she doing?
It's crazy.
I'm
It's sad.
I'm honestly, are we gonna see this video of
Did you-
some like transformed alter ego?
I just think we're gonna watch somebody like that's broken
Struggling.
having a meltdown, and people are being unfair to her about it.
Did
I
you
don't
see
know.
Jen responded to Tamra's apology?
No.
Remember Tamra's apology where she
Yeah.
was like, I don't know anything. It was very like robotic.
I'm Team Tamra for this one.
Jen responded and said, this is the most fake attempt of a retraction of her words. I feel so bad for Eddie Judge. Let's not forget, she also said on national TV, Ryan's home was raided by the FBI 6 months ago, and Jen is covering for him. Girl, you should have listened to Eddie when he tried to shut you up 5 times that night. Our home was never raided. I'm covering up for nobody. Your mouth and alcohol are your biggest problems, and you attack Shannon. What a joke. And Ryan then responded on Twitter and said, Tamra, you are played out. Your shtick is old, and we, the fans of the show, have evolved and grown up. Your lying, scheming, self-produced, drunkenness, nakedness, trailer trash behavior is circa 10 years ago. It's not cute anymore. In fact, it's gross, and we're over it. Just take a look in the mirror. Or if self-reflection isn't your thing, then just read the comments on the blogs, Bravo TV, your own podcast, or your own personal social media. #it's time.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's all messy. They're all
Yeah,
just
I
so
mean-
messy.
And again, I would rather that have come from Jen than Ryan, just because it's like, stop getting yourself like.
it's a little dirty once he chimes in.
Yeah.
And maybe she overspoke about whatever his actions were with his best friend and all the stuff going on with the Dodgers. But like, he seems like the slimiest guy on reality TV.
Yeah, and I don't ever need to see a man
Address a woman
address a
like
woman.
that.
I'm
No,
good.
no.
Like, yeah, have your wife, have your girlfriend. What is Jen to him? Girlfriend?
Girlfriend.
Beyonce.
Have
Yeah.
your girlfriend do it for you.
I have such sympathy for Jen as a housewife. She's very authentic. She's been through it, but it is so hard to be on her side when her track record of men is well notable, and he seems to fit the bill of, even if Tamra's not totally right about some of this stuff, like he seems like a shady guy. He operates and moves with shady people, like birds of a feather. Like his best friend is facing some very serious charges. You know, doesn't mean he did it, but like he just seems to move.
He did kind
In
of
a
talk about
way.
it this episode, and he was like,
Oh, he's like, oh yeah, what's going on?
I was
He
gonna
played
say-
dumb. It was weird.
I respected Emily when she was like, so you were in Vegas
Yeah.
every weekend, but you don't host?
He's like, huh, no, well, when, yeah,
It's like a bookie
no,
business.
and then wasn't Katie like, isn't bookies illegal?
Yeah. In California, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He moves like a shady guy, and Tamra, she definitely can be inauthentic. But we need people like her for the fans of the show. We need people to drive stories. We need the hard workers like Tamra. And yeah, is she inauthentic sometimes? I don't think, I don't need Ryan speaking for Bravo Nation if like he's the spokesperson for fans. And
yeah. He's the
Again,
last person.
he's suing her maybe on a technicality, but like he's not a good dude. Like, I don't know. And it's hard to have any sense. It's hard to back Jen up when she's backing up people like this.
He's allegedly not a good dude. Allegedly.
No, that's just one man's opinion.
Yeah.
Well, you never know with opinions these days.
I
We'll look at ya.
know.
Yeah.
I will say that is something that is so crazy to me that I'm like, it's a podcast where we are talking about like our opinions on what's happening in a TV show. We don't say that claim to know these people. Like, you shouldn't be getting your front page news from this. Like,
No, God, no. Please do your own research. This is all a stick.
exactly. We're just having
Medical
conversations.
advice? Not us.
Shtick. Not us. He wants to talk about Tamra having a shtick. This is our shtick.
Yeah. I wish for Jen a healthy relationship someday.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I wish for. I'm Team Heather when it comes to Emily and Heather.
I can disagree.
You couldn't disagree. Oh.
Wait, but they're both on the same team now.
Yeah, they're good now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
So do teams.
But I'm just in this particular scene where Emily continues to be upset with Heather. Like I empathize with Emily and her feelings, and she has the right to her feelings. But what she is asking Heather to do is anticipate her sensitivity on this topic, and that is an expectation reserved for like your husband or your wife or your absolute best friend. Like you don't anticipate Heather Dubrow anticipating your sensitivity on whatever topic. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Yeah,
your
I
best
guess
friend.
the-
That's a best friend move.
I guess the whole like, how would you think I would feel
It's like, I don't know. Like,
with the
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
that's what Emily wants Heather to do, to know all the work she's put in. And like, in all of Emily's feelings are valid. You know what I'm saying? I get why this is a sensitive issue for Emily, but to get mad at Heather because she didn't anticipate how Emily might feel every step of the way, as if Emily was supposed to be Heather's number one priority, while Heather's putting on this big production where like her kids are center of her mind and the fundraiser, yada,
Well,
yada, yada.
It's also
It's
just
just
like,
like-
it's one of those situations where I feel like you don't know until you know. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I haven't listened to every conversation her and Heather have ever had, but it's like, if Emily hasn't opened up about these things to Heather before, then how is Heather going to know that these things are triggering or sensitive to
yeah.
her?
Well, and I think Emily cared more about the response to her like sharing that than like the actual like fashion show.
Fine, but it's like it's tough when someone's coming at you crying, very emotional, and the topic is, you know, body weight and body image. Obviously, no one wants to get attacked for not handling a situation like that the best they could. So I can understand why Heather got defensive on camera, being accused of not being sensitive enough to Emily's like sensitivity. It's just, I don't know.
It also is, and like, I appreciate Heather in this way where she's like, why are we doing this in front of everyone? Like, pull me aside, like, let's do this one-on-one. And it's like, Emily wanted to do that in front of everybody. And then, which obviously piped up Alexis to like be her crazy self, and everyone kind of got involved. And then you like lose the whole point of the conversation because everyone's kind of chiming in. While when you have like a one-on-one, it's so much easier to like nail down the point and move on, which they ended up doing at the tea party. But it's like, yeah, I can see how
Was it Gina who made that comment about like Heather always wants to, you know,
have time
have
to
time
like,
and go back and
Yeah.
think of right things to say. And I'm curious, this is a question for the two of you, Justin and Sierra, who are, you know,
fuck
seasoned
off.
Bravo fans. Pop in. But like from a human being to human being, I didn't understand Gina's criticism because I don't think there's any, I mean, it's quite honestly healthy to feel triggered and want to take a step back, collect your thoughts, and not like just argue for the sake of arguing because you feel defensive. That's actually a healthy way of communicating between friends and loved ones and whatever.
Right.
And here's Gina criticizing her as her being inauthentic because she's not like in the moment just going at it. And it seems like Bravo fans in general praise and they call that like authentic because they're willing to be messy. But I'm hearing that and thinking, well, honestly, that's kind of like a healthy approach. Or are we do not want our
You're
housewives
saying
to be healthy in terms of communication? 'Cause I don't see that as inauthentic.
you're saying Gina was like we praise Gina or we're
Gina criticized Heather.
yes, yeah.
And she kind of referenced, and I've seen this online
Yeah.
in general of fans of housewives of like, you know,
Oh, the not right now. Let's
yeah,
talk
or
later.
just like Heather's a hot mic moment because it was a hot, you know, it was like because when she was talking to Terry, her husband, saying don't do this in public, as if her being inauthentic, as if like her wanting to have a healthy relationship with her husband was her being inauthentic
Got
as
it.
a housewife, or Heather wanting to take a step back and then coming back maybe a day later to say, hey, can we talk? Is Heather being inauthentic? Where I'm reading it as like maybe that's Heather, you know, just being a mature woman and learning through the years that maybe she responds more effectively and has a better conversation with whoever she's
Mm-hmm.
at odds with when she can like collect her thoughts and come back ready to discuss
Right.
as opposed to like just feeling defensive and then wanting to attack, you know. And I'm just wondering, as Bravo fans, how do we see it?
What do you think, Sierra?
I mean, it depends because it's like I think of like Denise Richards, where it's like kind of calculated, like saying bravo, bravo, because
Cut
it's like
the
I don't want
tapes.
this on camera. I think people do appreciate in the moment if drama is ensuing to actually sit down and have that conversation in the moment instead of being able to like go home, formulate an argument, which also now somebody maybe not as angry or like in it in that moment. Now you're saying something that's going to spark something else because you've calculated how this conversation is going to go. And it just kind of, we're watching reality TV. Like, we don't really want to see the scripted conversation that comes out in the sense of, and then getting shocked or upset when somebody doesn't go along with the plan.
A question for you. Do you really think, let's say, take the cameras away, Heather living her life, do you think she operates any differently if she were to get in a fight with a friend or a sister, or I don't know if she has siblings? Do you think she would move differently? Do you think she would have that fight there? Or do you think she would once again say, you know what, I'm not ready for this right now. And then a day later pick up the phone and Can we have coffee? Can we have tea? Can we get together? Can we talk?
I mean, it kind of depends because, like, even with the hot mic situation at the doctor's office, if Terry was disparaging her in the way that she felt without the cameras there, I think she would have said right then and there, like, what are you doing?
Take away the cameras. What if that was a group of friends at a dinner party?
But my point is, I do think the cameras make the difference because once you say what you're saying on tape, that is being used. When you're cognizant of that,
But
you're
you think
controlling
Heather
it.
at a dinner party, we get at a dinner party, they're playing Pictionary, whatever Terry said, you think she would fight with Terry there in front of friends? Or do you think behind closed doors on their way home, driving that night, she would say, hey, Terry, don't do that next time?
Yeah, I don't think she's going to fight with Terry at a dinner party, but I'm thinking if it's a women's group together and they're actually friends, like if there's a discussion that needs to be had, I don't think that she would be like, all right, let's table this. We're going to go walk away and you and I will have this conversation. But like, I don't think that.
I do. I don't know. I think Heather's moving the way Heather moves, And I think Heather, whether it's on camera or in life, I think she, wants to not be messy. She wants to be classier. I think she likes to feel and be in control.
Mhm.
I think some people call that calculated, but again, that's literally healthy communication.
Yeah.
That's like learning how to regulate your emotions and not like get into it. And again, you can call that I just don't call that calculated or inauthentic. And I do think that Heather operates that outside of the camera. So to me, I don't know how fans could call that inauthentic if that's how she, and maybe difference of opinion, you might be right, I could be wrong. But if she does operate that way outside of filming, then how can it be inauthentic?
The part that got me was her confessional, and I don't know if you guys caught this a couple episodes ago, but when Emily first confronted Heather, she made a confessional comment of like, well, newsflash, the dress was too tight. And for me, I was like, I don't know, for me, I was like, okay, that's having family that are bigger and kind of have experienced that hate. Like that's extremely regardless if it was Alexis or Emily that got that comment, that's fatphobic.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Yeah.
And
Heather said that?
insensitive.
Yeah.
I didn't
She said that in her
in the
confessional.
episode.
So that's where I'm like, so she's saying that, but then obviously the confessional is shot later. But I'm like, that's still you're able to switch and do kind of a joke about it. That's kind of weird.
And even then, that's post conversation with Emily. So it's like, you know
Yeah.
how she feels about it, and you still
Well,
took a crack at
that would
her.
just be a tone-deaf joke.
yeah.
And maybe
But-
it was centered at Alexis, but still, even if it was, it's that's insensitive.
Yeah, I don't know. That's fucked up.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with how she regulates, whether, you know what I'm saying?
But on the question of authenticity, it's she's acting this way on camera, but then
It's like that's how you
later
really felt.
in a confessional, you're saying that. It's weird.
Did
Yeah.
you so obviously we had Gina on last week and we kind of asked her about the whole Travis's ex and what's kind of going on there. And it felt like she wasn't comfortable saying much, but she did say that she didn't feel safe. She didn't feel like her kids were safe. And then Travis comes out and accuses his dangerous ex-wife of threatening Gina.
Yeah, so basically there's a lot of different facts to it, but a lot of the stuff we know with this specifically is that there was Instagram comments and posts and tagging. So broadly summarizing these Instagram posts insinuated that Megan, the ex, was going to kill herself, called out Gina and me by our names, make various disparaging and untrue comments about me and Gina, and state that Gina and I are abusing Megan/my children. It is important to note that Megan hashtagged me, Gina, and Gina's employer on these posts. One example Megan wrote was, God showed up right as I was about to give up today. I was done, and a complete stranger left this on my doorstep with a note. I don't know why, but in person was definitely an angel who stopped me dead in my tracks as I was about to destroy my life. Today has been the most life-changing day. Continuing. And then he also pointed out that Megan had 3 pending criminal cases against her at that time, including domestic violence against Travis, possession of drugs, and violating a criminal protective order.
Oh my gosh.
So it seems like there were a lot of heavy
Yeah.
Instagram posts, and then they were tagging everybody in their lives to make it a thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That definitely, I can see how Gina did not feel safe.
I mean, that's
Yikes.
actually scary.
Yeah. It is interesting though, retrospectively, that she didn't talk about this stuff on the show. So from an audience perspective, it looks like we're confused why she's moving out from Travis is moving out.
That does make a lot more sense.
But now it's coming out that they just kept that away from the show.
which I respect.
And good
'Cause,
for
this,
Tina.
I mean, I hate it when this stuff is bleeding into the real. I don't, these kids are involved. And I don't know. It's yucky. But anyways, all right. Well, we'll see how things progress next week. On to Salt Lake City. What is the definition of a rumor?
Well, apparently Meredith, she's doesn't
Not spreading rumors
right.
while describing a rumor being spread.
Starting a rumor. When we talked about
Well, is she starting it or spreading it? Because
she started it on camera.
But spreading
she
it.
brings it to national
Yes.
fucking television, and then she's like, "But it wasn't
But
me."
I'm not spreading rumors.
Yes.
I'm not talking about them because they don't like me, so I wouldn't go to them. You should. And I'm like, this is literally the formula that gets her in trouble every season. And she's like, I don't
Yes.
understand why everybody thinks I start rumors.
When we told you
This
the
is
blow,
literally a rumor
Yeah.
you're starting.
but then
or
she
spreading.
makes someone else talk about it, and then she's like, why are you talking about that?
Yeah, then why are you talking about it then?
Yeah.
If I told you in confidence, why? And
Just-
it's like,
For the blowjob thing, when we told you about that, she told Whitney it. So Meredith prompted the conversation on camera, and then it all became like Whitney started the rumor.
mhm. And it was like,
And to this day, they all like claim that Whitney was the one that started
And
it.
it's on camera.
It's like
Yeah.
they're in their mind not gossiping or spreading or starting a rumor is if someone else has talked about said rumor, then apparently they think it's
common knowledge.
that's not gossip.
Mhm.
Like
No.
that's literally what gossip is. That's
Meredith
you're
is like,
gossiping about a rumor.
she's the queen of rumors. That's why you have the soundbite last season, the rumors and nastiness. It's like
nastiness.
that's her whole thing.
I feel like maybe Meredith like kicked it off, but it seems to be more like you tell me, Justin.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City seems to be they love their rumors. I mean, it more than other franchises. It seems like Riley Von Teese. I mean, all
Mhm.
that drama was based off of like alias accounts and rumor spreading and gossips, and it was like an online, like a blogging Reddit type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems like the Salt Lake City Housewives really sling rumors more than say the other franchises. Is that accurate or is this?
I think you're 100% correct. And that's why Monica was like the perfect catalyst, because it's like every season there was some fake account or someone tweeted something or someone knew someone that cheated on someone. Like there's
I just feel like
rumors
we
everywhere.
can't, like, how can we believe anything that any of them say at this point?
I guess
It's
you
like,
can.
is any of it true? Is there any like the whole Greek mafia, the whole like? It's like, what is going on?
I forgot
me-
about that. That was crazy.
Me too, yeah. I
That's
think it's
crazy. Her husband's like,
because she's rich that she has to be from the Greek mafia.
you
yeah.
got church cult leaders.
Which is kind of funny though, because like I don't think this is actually going on, but like at the end of this episode, when Brawen and Lisa are kind of going at it,
Mhm.
and then Heather kind of like walks up behind her, almost like kind of aggressively behind Brawen's back, and like in the first few episodes, you got Jen Shaw in prison. Monica, she's gone. Not that Monica was ever the ringleader, but it really feels like, how in like mafia movies where like the boss gets arrested or eliminated and there's like a fight for who rises to be the next new boss. And it kind of feels like that's what's going on with this group where Lisa really wants the mantle, and I can't help but feel like Heather's decided to like be her number two, and they're getting in it together, trying to create the like the leaders of this group and leaders of the storylines. It feels very mafia, like
Yeah.
like as if they're maybe it's just me.
Nick's starting a rumor.
I'm sorry.
Lisa and
I'm
Heather
starting a
involved in the
rumor
mafia.
about their intentions of the group. It just like it's.
You're right.
I
It's-
didn't feel like Heather walked up on her aggressively at all. I think she was like waving like at Heather, at Whitney or someone super smiley, and then it was like she just joined the conversation because she knew what the fuck they were talking about.
No, but
Didn't
I
feel aggressive.
No,
You have a
aggressive's
point.
not wrong. I don't mean like aggressive, like she physically did anything aggressive, but like she's clear. For whatever reason, I don't know what happened in the off season, but Heather and Lisa have become very aligned. I didn't remember that in season 4 of them being that aligned.
It's Whitney standing up to Lisa and
Yeah.
getting like pushed
So
out.
you got,
Yeah.
Heather and Lisa together. Lisa and Brawen are having a fight, and then Heather comes up behind Brawen, which on its face, it like is just kind of like when you got to turn around to check who's like at your 6. It's a little like whatever. And I don't think Heather meant anything by. Obviously, I'm just creating a
Well, I
narrative
think
here, but
cameras were just standing
Sure.
in where she probably would.
it just kind of looked almost as if like Heather was having her girl's back, Lisa. It's just like
I think she was summoned because Heather was like walking, and then all of a sudden you hear Lisa go, "Heather, we're talking about," and Heather was like, "Okay, here I am."
no, yeah. I'm sure I'm making this up. I'm sure I'm starting a rumor.
Yeah. No, you have a point though about like it's like the popular girls thing,
Yeah.
right? Like the 3 are deciding that they're going to be, maybe Brawen's not part of this, but like the 2 of them are deciding like we're going to be the dominant leaders.
It's like every time there's drama, they either cut to Lisa or Heather to get their like, is this accurate? Like,
Yeah.
they always seem to get the last word
No, and
about the righteousness of whatever thing they're talking about.
well, and about that kind of side note, but Monica has been posting quite a bit because obviously I'm sure she's getting tagged and on things on a regular. But the whole reasoning why these women didn't want Monica back on the show is because she's dangerous. She reminds them of Jen Shah, and they have to be constantly traumatized by what this woman did to them. And then Lisa just went on a podcast and was talking about how Jen is harmless, and unless you're an elderly person, and then laughed about it. So Monica has been going nuts on social media, being like, I thought I was dangerous, but yet you would film with Jen, but you won't film with me. So why can't I be on the show? It's like, it's not making sense. You're saying that your safety is at harm, but yet you would film with Jen, who gave your co-star a black eye, admittedly.
And this is to Lisa specifically.
Because Monica, you can't control her, and like you can't, like, sticks and stones may break her bones, but Monica is like fucking
dynamite.
So
whatever.
exactly what you're saying. It's like Heather and Lisa have like tied together, being like, this woman cannot be like, can't come at us because we need to control the situation. There's no controlling Monica, so now we don't feel safe. But you would film with Jen again? That's wild.
That is crazy,
right?
Yeah.
Harmless unless you're an elderly person,
and laughing about
it.
Wait, can we talk about Alibaba?
AliExpress.
Well, aren't we spreading the rumor though?
The nastiness.
From what I know about Alibaba,
it's AliExpress.
It's AliExpress, but like the fact that Meredith
it's
and
not
Heather,
the same.
it's the same thing.
Because Alibaba is a thing.
Yeah.
It's a website. It's like Amazon in China.
Isn't it called AliExpress?
It's called AliExpress.
Alibaba.com is the B2B e-commerce platform. So yeah, you buy cheap things on it.
But they showed AliExpress.
Okay,
Is
so
it the
that's
same thing or a different thing? I don't.
Okay, so that's where they got confused. So like they were actually referencing AliExpress, but then Meredith was saying Alibaba, and so was Heather.
Are they two different things?
They are
Yes.
two different websites that I think do the exact same thing.
Gotcha.
They are, yeah.
Okay. All right. And what is the alleged what is the accusation?
That Whitney has a jewelry line, Prism. So the accusation is that she's buying cheap jewelry from AliExpress or Alibaba and then like selling it for like a premium or like good quality price, essentially.
Well, what is cheap jewelry? But like most people, a lot of reality TV stars who have their own line are securing products like any other business gets
Wholesale.
a product and then they up the price so they can make money. I mean, yeah. What is the big?
You're talking about like I think it was for a single piece was like, if not 98 cents, with under $5
50
and then
cents?
selling it for 60.
Yeah.
So
So making a profit off of a cheap product
which again
is what she's implying.
That's called
So this
business.
is
that's called capitalism.
yeah.
So Meredith is saying she got tagged. I love when it's like, well, people were just tagging me in it, so I just like have to
Incessantly.
speak about it.
And then
I
you
have to
message that
speak
person, they're like, I never check my DMs. It's like, what? Huh? Which way?
about it. Yeah.
Which one is it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and remember, Meredith is like the queen of like the DMs. So it's like the
Yeah.
mafia thing came to her DMs. She got the SEO or SCI, whatever, the filing about
Lisa's company.
for Lisa's company the season before. So she's always getting DMs of something.
I mean, listen, if
Allegedly.
I don't know I don't know what Whitney's selling, and I don't
Yeah.
know what products are. I don't know the quality of it or whatever. But like, listen, like if her quality of her products aren't good, her customers will speak up.
Exactly.
She will lose business. It's like,
Yeah.
how much she paid for it and how much she marks it up. Like that's not a crime. That's like, and I'm pretty sure Lisa loves a margin. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what she's buying her tequila for or whatever her products are, but I bet she's selling it for more than she's buying it for.
Yeah.
I don't really know what the big, scandal is.
Meredith was mostly doing it, and this is me just
No, but
assuming.
that was actually Heather. That was Heather putting it out there that if this is true, this is damning.
Yes.
And
yeah.
and maybe I'm misinformed. Maybe I don't know what the damning element is, but sounds like commerce to me.
Yeah, like if we're claiming it's 24 karat gold and it's being sold for $60, it's dipped. It's not solid
And
gold.
I don't know.
You know what I
Is
mean?
Whitney
like
claiming it
That's what I-
for it to be?
that's what I'm
something it's
saying. I
not?
highly doubt it because you can't. Nothing costs $60. That's 100%
Real
gold.
gold.
I know nothing. I know almost nothing about jewelry.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
that checks
Other
out,
than
though.
like it seems costly. But
And women like
if
it.
I'm spending $60 on jewelry, I'm pretty much certain has very low value.
Yeah,
If I had to guess how much it costs to make, I probably would guess less than $10.
you know,
That'd be my guess.
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
metal dipped in something. But anyways, my point being is that I don't think that she's also falsely claiming it to be something it's not at
No.
that price point.
I know.
Last time I checked, it was gold plated on her website.
Yeah, and gold plated
So-
literally means if you wear it in water, it will rust and it will be damaged. So take good care of it or know that it's temporary.
See, like to me, like this is character assassination from Lisa
It
and
is.
Heather.
I
This is like-
also think you can go on any jewelry website, any of these places, and you can find the exact same product on AliExpress.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
And probably the same photo. And I'm not saying that these other places are taking them from AliExpress. Is AliExpress taking the photos from them? How do we know? Who had the photo first? Meredith is like there, and she's using the same photo. And it's like, well, did AliExpress get it from
And
Whitney
replicate her.
and replicate her shit? And now
Yeah.
everyone's saying
But
it's the other way around?
Think about how hardcore these ladies play. These ladies, they don't fuck around. You have Meredith, who's upset with Whitney about like launching a bath bomb business, regardless of how long Whitney's had her bath bombs out. And so the next episode, you got Meredith spreading a rumor that I can only assume her goal is to destroy her credibility and therefore company.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like, what? That's fucking hardcore.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You
That
don't
is like,
You don't insult
going-
Meredith's bath. That's why. You insulted her bath, and that's like her one thing that she's like, don't touch it.
Girl, I love a bath as much as the next one. I'm not coming for your business over it.
your livelihood, your,
You
your
know.
family.
No, it is insane.
That's. I mean, that's.
Well, and then we have the caviar. So Whitney asking Meredith to bring her caviar, and then Meredith spinning it around to be like, I was already bringing it.
So catty and just like unnecessary. But also like I've moved things around so that I can make it to Milwaukee.
Crazy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Whitney's come back the previous episode and she's like, great, don't come. Like that.
I really
killed
want to
me.
like Meredith. I do. I feel like sometimes I feel like Meredith just wants a best friend and needs a hug, and she just needs. Does Meredith have a sister? I don't know. I feel like she just wants her one sister, her one friend, and this acting out is just, and it's an acting out of what, you know. I want to see it that way.
She does have a sister.
She does.
Yeah. I remember the
she
sister
have a
came
falling
on.
out?
No, but the sister came on for a storyline like 2 seasons ago.
Meredith always gives us like, you know, if you're nice to me, I'm nice to you, right? And if you fuck with me, I'll kill you. It seems like most of them are like that. But Meredith really, it seems like she wants to be nice, but she always does something to like fuck with people.
It's the lawyer in her because she's a good person, and I personally like her as a character. But it's
I do
like
too.
the lawyer of her being like, I'm going to present the information, but stay silent to protect my like legality of it. It's like,
But she's trying to destroy
looks
someone's
messy.
life
Yeah.
over like what doesn't seem to be. And spreading nasty fucking rumors that's dangerous. That's fucking crazy. It's one thing to be like, I don't like her, she rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
But like putting out a narrative and then like Heather backing that up by, you know, like most of the people who watch this show have no fucking clue like what they're even talking about what Whitney is allegedly doing wrong, and you have Heather being like, if this is true, it's fucking damaging. It's like, huh?
yeah.
It just seems a little much.
What's crazier than all of that is Mary saying she uses a tampon to hold her pee. And I know we started the woman argument of the century with like flush tampons or put them in the trash, but I feel like we can all collectively agree
It's impossible.
it doesn't work that way.
Well, and as a man, I know that there's different holes, right?
There are
Yeah.
So
several.
that biologically does
What
not
a
even make
legend.
sense.
It does
Thank you.
not. It does not make sense. Maybe she's talking about like the like pressure of like one is like
Well,
helping
the way
her whole.
Mary described it at first is, I think this is a placebo thing going on for Mary, because she said, when I do this, I don't have to pee. She didn't say that when I put a tampon in, I don't have to worry about peeing. She implied that it stops her from having to pee. If you listen to it back, she's like,
kinda
I've
heard
never
that
had to
too.
pee. But then she talks about like the type of tampon you need, would suggest that she's planning on peeing on said tampon. But I'm guessing that's not happening.
That
But wouldn't
can't
that be
happen.
crazy if, like, let's say Mary's always done this, and we gotta assume that Mary's just not making it up. Maybe she's just doing it, thinking that it stops her from peeing. It's a placebo effect. It just kind of gives her that, like, hey, when I'm out there, don't worry. Like, it gives her that confidence that she can hold it because there's
He
a
doesn't
tampon.
use public bathrooms.
But meanwhile, she gives like advice to a friend who like, is this maybe just believes Mare. And she's like, hey, just, you got to have a good tampon. Just make sure you get the plus size. Next thing you know, friends out in public, big event. They're like, don't worry, I got a tampon in, tries to pee, water it down the leg, thinking, Mare, what the
I
fuck?
also love how she's like, you can't get small or medium. And it's like, that's not also what they're called.
And sure, it's supersize,
So-
is what she said.
What are they called?
Well,
Heavy flow.
there's regular,
Regular, super.
super, and super plus.
Okay.
That's
And
it.
like,
But do you think she?
yeah.
What do you? I mean, do you think she just made it up? Do you think she does this? Do you think? What do you think's going on?
I think
here?
she does it, and I think she puts it in, and like the pressure of it just like doesn't. She like doesn't think about peeing. She like doesn't have to pee when she has a tampon in. I feel like that's. But I feel like anytime a woman sits down on a toilet, you pee, like regardless. And so, I don't know. I feel like it definitely is a placebo effect. I feel like if I did that and was like, okay, now that I'm putting this tampon in, I'm not gonna have to pee. Maybe I wouldn't. But if she is, and maybe it wasn't clear, but if she is saying that she pees and the tampon is supposed to catch it, like it catches blood, like it just doesn't. That just
Well, there's no way that happens.
It's
because
not working that way.
It can't.
There's
Not
never
even-
been a report of Mary peeing her pants in public. And if she was doing that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Brittany and Jared.
All right.
Well, at least for in this episode, we know the whole like Angie K's brow girl
Yes,
has been flirting with Jared, the
Yes.
DMs, and like the laugh emoji, tongue out with Winky, the probably. But I mean, outside of the show, basically, Jared has been posting on Instagram saying, fascinating part of Brittany's story is that she adds so much drama for no reason. Truly, in an attempt to be relevant, if you want to know the truth or our history, I have never walked away from her. I've always been steady, spoiled her over the last year, paid for everything, and have been a true
God.
gentleman. Rather
we
than just
go.
steadily stay with me and work through all of the dating issues that pop up, she runs like a scared child. I'd need to date a stable woman. For the record, Brittany has a job on the show because I decided to go on. I give her relevance, I give her a talking point. She promised me that we wouldn't take our love on camera, that it would be best friends, hence the reason for all the best friend comments.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How many
That's-
times have they gotten together and broken up?
So many.
16.
Before
Like
the show.
you don't get to say any of this. Like you are
The
you
paid for everything. Come the fuck on.
Are you chivalrous or not?
The throwing
Yeah.
it back
Also,
in
like,
people's face.
are you best friends or not? Like cuz
crazy.
if you're paying for everything, bro, you are not homies.
Yeah.
That's
Like, you're-
true. That's a good point.
So
but
which-
you also do say just because they pay for everything doesn't mean you're in a relationship with them. When you're like friends want to pay for everything, friends
No,
want to
I
meet
didn't
your
say- no,
family.
No, I would say friends want to meet your family, friends want to go to a movie with you, friends want to take trips with you. Friends don't pay for everything.
Well, and he's saying that like the best friend was because of the storyline, but then basically she went on it being like, we're dating. So
They
he's,
are dating.
Yeah.
Telling her she runs like a scared child is so fucking offensive and like
mean, yeah.
it's
Are they having sex? Probably. Is he? If he's paying, he's admitting to paying for everything. And I don't even know if it's true. He wants the credit for paying for everything.
Yeah.
But even the statement that Brittany has a job because I decided to go on to give her relevance and give her a talking point. But then you said that you guys promised that you wouldn't talk about your relationship on
Which is
camera.
it?
So which one is
Which
it?
one
Yeah.
is it?
Like,
these men need to step the fuck back. It's crazy. Like the gall that these men have to like come out and put these public statements being like, I'm the reason that you're relevant. Like your trailer trash. That's crazy.
season 1 of a +1 boyfriend.
You know who's unproblematic? Brawin's husband,
Yeah.
who also
he
has a
is.
quite soothing voice. I don't.
He
He said
is.
like 2 words this episode. And I
Yeah.
was like, that man has a really nice voice.
Brahman also had like 5 confessional outfits by now.
Oh my god.
She's had a lot.
Yeah.
She's had a
And
lot.
they're
She
iconic.
also put a little insight into their sex life.
What did she say?
She said she's having sex with a man with gout or something.
That's
like
old
that.
enough to have gout.
She's old enough to have gout.
And it's horrendous.
oh yes,
not
it is
not
horrendous.
the sex, but I think the fact that her partner has gout.
Wait,
Yeah.
does he have gout or
Yep.
is he just?
That's-
He's- It was
So
old
my-
enough to have gout.
My dad has gout too.
Oh.
Yeah.
But isn't? See, that's the thing. You know, money can buy you a lot of things, but can't stop you from getting gout.
You know?
Yeah.
Also, back to the Jared part of it, like even in the DMs that Angie was showing, Jared explicitly says that he's not with Brittany.
Mm.
So it's like,
I mean, again, this town is so
Not adding up.
small, and the same way that we're just talking about the way that the gossip flows around this town, like the man is hitting on Angie's brow girl. There must be some sort of mutual friends involved here, and
Yeah.
he does not give a fuck. about
Everything
getting
he's
caught.
saying in this DM is evidence how much of a fuckboy he is acting like to Brittany. And it's just like the back and forth, you know, just like the contradiction in this statement is evidence of his contradiction to her. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
in the back and forth, it's like, it's just like, are you together? Are we not together? We're not together. But like he clearly wants her around at his convenience whenever she wants, when he needs companionship, when he needs a travel buddy, when he needs a sex partner, whatever. he is, and now he's weaponizing her availability at his convenience against her. It's as low as it goes. Like this is, he's what, the grandson of the Osmonds or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a descendant of Mormon royalty.
Mhm,
This-
essentially.
And this is a guy like this is why in nepotism people, have to face the harsh criticisms that they do
Yeah.
because of people like him. He's a true. This is nepotism at its best. This isn't hardworking. This is sad.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he's 53 years old too, by the way.
he's grown. Yeah.
Needing to put a comment to his 4,000 followers on Instagram that just so you know.
All right, well, Team Brit.
I respect Angie for telling Brittany though,
Yeah.
like, because I know Angie,
well,
respect, I
she
don't
was
know.
not. She was telling Bronwyn, wasn't it? And then Brittany
Well, but
says, "Are you talking about me?"
that was funny to see her the whole time in the center of the frame when they were talking about her. But
Respect is a strong word.
but she was asking how do I tell her?
And I will
So-
give him a lot of the times everyone's like, do the right thing, do the right thing. Sometimes stuff like that, especially when it doesn't actually involve you, that is some of the most terrifying news to try to break to somebody. And especially if you're not close to them and why am I the person doing it? I understand from Angie's point of having reservations being am I the one to do it? Can I talk through this with you as to what's the best way to go about this? Because it's sensitive information. It's going to hurt her no matter what.
I am also glad Meredith went with her to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
See, I'm telling you, Meredith wants to be nice.
She is nice.
Angie K's giving me life too. I love how we posted a meme of her Greek outfit that somebody posted in their story, and they said, "I wish all housewives were this delightfully tacky." And I love the fact that she reposted it because she's
Embracing
thriving
it.
it. Yeah, I love her.
All right, well, until next week, it's time for Joey and Kelsey.
There are a few things in this world that I will live, breathe, die, exist for, one of them being Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement with over 1 million people seeing thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding. I am one of those 1 million people. I have used Nutrafol for years now. I used it before I got pregnant. My hair was in the best shape it has ever been in my entire life. And I use it now for postpartum hair loss. And I'll be honest, I stopped using it for a few weeks, and boy, let me tell you, I saw the difference. And so thank God I am back on Nutrafol.
Hair all over our shower wall in those 2 weeks.
Okay. Everyone's root causes of hair thinning are different, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth just doesn't cut it. Nutrafol has multiple formulas that are tailored to give your hair what it needs to grow throughout different stages, such as postpartum and menopause, as well as for all different lifestyles, such as plant-based diets. Physician-formulated with drug-free ingredients, Nutrafol supplements support healthy hair growth from within by targeting root causes of thinning, including stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, lifestyle, and metabolism as they evolve throughout a woman's life. I actually got my hairstylist, Alex, who we talked about in this episode, on Nutrafol, and he is very excited about it. So with Nutrafol, building a hair growth routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescription required. Free shipping and automated deliveries ensure you'll never miss a day. See results in 3 to 6 months.
Get results you can run your fingers through for a limited time. Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code VIALL. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code VIALL. That is Nutrafol.com, promo code VIALL. Do you know if you're getting enough magnesium? Because 4 out of 5 Americans aren't. Well, I want to shout out Magnesium Breakthrough by Optimizers for getting so many more people the magnesium that they need. I have been taking Magnesium Breakthrough by Optimizers for some time now for all the amazing benefits of magnesium. There's so many great benefits to magnesium, including better sleep, promotes a balanced stress response, feel relaxed and at peace, you sleep faster and deeper, a key nutrient for healthy immune responses. It also provides an essential electrolyte to maintain healthy rhythm. Unlike other magnesium supplements that might be giving you 1 to 2 forms of magnesium, Magnesium Breakthrough contains all 7 forms of magnesium designed to help calm your mind and allows you to feel grounded and relaxed during the day and especially before bed. Maybe you're not getting enough of magnesium. Well, let the good people at Optimizers get you the magnesium that you need with Magnesium Breakthrough. Don't miss out on the most relaxing sleep ever with Magnesium Breakthrough. For an exclusive offer, go to buyoptimizers.com/VIALL and use promo code VIALL during checkout to save 10%. And if you subscribe, not only will you get amazing discounts and free gifts, you will make sure your monthly supply is guaranteed. buyoptimizers.com/VIALL. Welcome back, guys.
Good to be back.
How
man.
are you?
Good.
Fabulous.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are in LA now, so it's been good, but things are exciting. There's a lot going on.
So yeah, you're like living here now.
Well, temporarily, but we are starting to look at places in LA, which is exciting. So we're starting that process.
You're becoming an LA.
That is the idea right now. I'm not sure if Kelsey's fully sold yet, but we're
Because I
making
feel like
our way.
last time you were here,
It was New York.
it was New York.
Yes.
Mhm.
Kelsey, do you want to touch on that?
I mean, yeah, we were originally I wanted to live in New York. I've always wanted to live in New York, but I feel like LA still gives that city vibe to an extent. But then also it's got the sun and the beach for Joey, which I know would make him a little happier. I'm like, he would probably be really depressed in New York. So I guess I have to think about him too.
what kind of bag or purse or what are you going to be getting, Kelsey, for living your dream?
I think every day there's going to be a new gift. Now I get to live my dream. So yeah, no, I gotta definitely repay that one.
Natalie
as much
moved
as
to LA
possible.
for me, and it's she's got a lot of purses now.
Yeah, she's already gotten one or two, but I'm sure we're gonna add some more to the collection here for this one.
What
which
is your
good.
thing, Kelsey? What's like? Do you have like a
Guilty pleasure. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like I kind of wear the same purses. I kind of
You love a
Shoes?
nice.
through.
She loves a nice new purse.
I do love
she
a nice purse,
loves
but I feel
a
like I don't get a
new-
whole lot. Like I
You
don't
like a new
personally.
jewelry piece too?
Yeah, like
Oh, yes,
whenever
of
other people
course.
buy me jewelry, because it's like I would probably buy myself a purse, but I don't think I'd buy myself like a new necklace or a new
Yeah, I
bracelet.
wouldn't either.
yeah.
So
She's not
And
really
my-
subtle about it either. She'll be like,
just
"Yeah, have
send
you
it to 'em."
seen this like amazing new piece of
no,
jewelry
Natalie's
that
not
I want?"
subtle either.
Yeah.
She's just
Which is
like-
I would prefer it that way. Just
yeah, I'm
let
like
me
if you
know.
ever want to give me a gift, this is what you should get me.
Yeah,
no, I find it to be helpful.
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
is.
point me in the right direction.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can't be wrong then.
like all this. It's the thought that counts. Like,
Yeah.
just
No,
tell
no,
me.
no, no. I don't want to see that face when she opens up a
I'm
gift
like,
and it was just like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
You got me this
Oh.
bracelet without my knowledge, and it's really
That was
sweet.
a Carly Graziadei special. My
Yeah.
sister helped a lot on that one.
Oh,
so-
okay. What is that?
It's Lagos.
Yeah.
Sounds expensive.
Wow.
It's like a Philly brand.
Don't forget
right?
about the David Yurman that's on that wrist
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
See, I have. We've already started the gifts.
Okay,
We
she's
started the
spoiled.
gifts.
Wow.
I mean,
And
as you
we're-
should.
and
Though.
we're
Like she's
moving to LA,
literally
baby.
living your dream. You know, so it's
And
huge.
listen, they're like, you can pass them down.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like,
I'm like, yeah, it's an heirloom. You know,
it's an heirloom.
Not an heirloom.
Exactly.
It is.
Like a lot of people say purses are investments, and while they definitely are, like I'm probably not going to sell any of mine. They're all just going to go to my daughters, and
Yeah.
they're going to be so vintage.
But
and
gonna be
Exactly,
so
they're gonna
But
love
the
it.
point is, if we do fall in hard times,
Oh, well.
you know, we might
I
have.
feel like we
might
did
have to
another
sell
job.
a
We
purse or
wouldn't
two.
eat for a week is fine with me, you know, and then we'll.
What would you do if I was like, babe,
We had a solid
we've
purses.
had a tough year.
I think
We
I'd
need to
probably
get rid of
go
some
for like the
purses.
Tom Ford
Okay.
suit, tuxedo jacket
Interesting.
that
Oh,
you.
the one we got married in.
Oh,
Oh, yes, of course.
over like a. No, I'd probably sell that Dolce and Gabbana one that you got me that you.
That you fucking hate.
It's
Yeah.
just not. You know, like it was. You only bought it to make that other woman jealous. So.
It's not entirely true. I was at a fundraiser. Took Andrew Spencer as my date because Natalie was pregnant, and we were at one of these fundraisers where you bid on things.
Yeah.
And usually I'll just like find, or you can just like at the end, they're like, who wants to donate a
Yeah,
couple
exactly.
bucks?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, here's $500.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting across the table. I forgot who. And she like recognized me and then was nice at first and then kind of got annoying and was like, where's your girlfriend? Or she just started asking questions
Right.
about like Natalie in like almost a weird way. And so Natalie likes purses. And I had my eye on the Dolce & Gabbana purse. It was a little sparkly. I thought maybe this is something new. So yeah, I got it. And I was like, oh. I forgot how it went, but there was motivation behind like her running her mouth and being like, you know what?
Like, I'm gonna get her something nice.
Here
then.
you go.
Yeah.
Actually, this is for Natalie.
Yeah.
And back to the point, if she didn't like that purse, it's because she didn't pick out the purse. So
Yeah.
back to the original
Now
point.
I was like, thanks.
It's really
The
sparkly.
same thing happened with my push present. He just kind of like got
Oh, yeah, there's
the
that too.
sales associate at Louis Vuitton was in his ear chirping and he trusted her, and then I was like, this is so pretty.
So I'm 0 for 2
okay.
Well,
for buying Natalie purses without her telling me.
The
which
Lagos
portion
was the only one I've done on my own. Every other time it has been.
You got me a butterfly necklace.
Yeah, that one was another
Yeah,
one.
which is
Aw.
sweet.
2 for 2. Let's
There you
go.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Little competition.
Oh, I'm not.
over here.
No, I'm not gonna keep trying.
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
like,
I think 2 is the only I'm
settle
going
down.
for. I'm gonna let you pick moving forward.
It's pajama day here at the Viall Files.
It is. You guys look great.
We don't
Yeah.
really sleep in this
Oh.
stuff.
Yeah,
What do you sleep in, Joey?
I do like sleeping naked majority of the time, but if
Full
not,
on
if it-
naked?
full on. If
Why?
I don't know, it feels comfortable.
He also gets like really hot in his sleep. I feel like that's partially why.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if what kind of underwear. Wait, is it wool underwear you're wearing?
True,
No, I've got wool. I don't even know. Where do you get wool
Like, how
underwear?
hot
Well,
are you? that you're
I'm
like,
saying
oh,
a little
God, oh, God.
itchy.
I'm saying no shirt. At least that's the
No
point of
shirt,
that.
definitely. Maybe I'll be wearing briefs.
Yeah,
or,
usually I feel like you usually wear briefs.
But naked often.
but
Sometimes.
naked. Yeah, sometimes.
Nick doesn't really dabble in the nakedness.
I just
It's
feel like
very European.
I just feel like
Yes.
I just feel like if you might roll over in the wrong way.
Yeah, I can see that. I honestly,
You're
it's
just like, oh, fuck.
it's something you have to do when you're in your own setting. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not
It was
like,
like-
I'm going to like hotels and like yeah, but it's like if you're home, it's okay. I don't know.
Okay.
He can't give any advice to anyone else looking to sleep naked. This is his journey.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Hey, anytime.
Do you want to talk about the backflip? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was my feet are still hurting is what I'm thinking about with that backflip. That was we had to practice that so many times, and the one thing about it was you had to hit it correctly in the time of the music. So usually when I would do that flip, I would try to be soft on my feet, especially because I was like wearing Vans. It's on a hard floor, but I had to make sure I landed at the exact time to be able to then hit the dance move. So what I started doing was I started throwing my feet down, and my heels I think are bruised right now because they just hurt this week as we get into the next dance.
Oh no.
Yeah, but no pain, no gain.
Should
We're
we give
good.
a backstory on why we know he's doing a backflip?
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
we were at Dancing with the Stars.
No one knows. It was top secret.
Yes, it was top secret.
It was.
Yeah.
It was delayed.
How do you feel about Danny also doing it? I honestly felt like that was kind of bullshit.
Hey, I mean,
You're
it was different though. It was,
was, like,
different.
off the top
nevertheless.
step
Let's
or
be honest.
something.
You're kind of competing with the
His-
same. You guys are competing for
Flirt.
votes.
Yeah.
You're both kind of like the heartthrobs. You know, like is Danny single?
Is Danny single?
I think so.
I think
You
so.
kind of look similar.
Yeah.
Just, you know, if you're
There's-
half paying attention, it's
Yeah.
like, is
You
it
can
Danny?
have
Is it
some
Joey
competition there.
dancing?
Honestly, I love Danny. He's been one of the people that I've gotten along with the most throughout the competition. And we did find out like middle to end of the week that they were doing a backflip too. First reaction was like, whoa, we were doing a backflip. And then I went up to him and we talked to him and Whitney, and they said how theirs was way different. If Whitney flipped Danny, I would have had more issues with it because I would have been like, that's kind of the same move we're doing. But they had a completely different dance. They
He
had
just-
a different idea. He did it off the stairs.
He did it without assistance, though.
Hey, that's fine. Danny's actually can do a backflip. I need help.
I feel like he had a little assistance from, jumping higher,
Yeah.
right? Because then you
Ah.
have longer time to flip and then land it. So I feel like it's the same.
I'm just happy
You
both of
also
us
skill level.
survived our flips. Let's just say that. I talked to Danny the night after
Yeah.
the show, and he said he felt like he played a football game the night before. So we were both hurting going into that week because I think we didn't want to do any more flips
Next time you see Danny and you want to get in his head, like
Mhm.
next on
tonight.
tonight, right before he goes out, just be like, hey, Danny, why couldn't you win Special Forces? Because like a bunch of other bachelors have. So like, what's up with that? Kind of soft.
Was he on your season or
No,
is
he was
the
on
one
Hannah's season. He did. He honestly did very well, but
Yeah.
he did not finish.
Hey, didn't win.
He quit.
No, I haven't got a chance to ask him about that show because when we met him initially in the beginning of the whole process, he was with Dwight, and I knew that they knew each other, and I didn't know it was because of Special Forces and everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dwight also
Mm.
couldn't finish.
Hey, they said it was very difficult. They gave us a little background on it, but they said it was really tough.
Yeah.
Would you do it?
I would be open to it. It seemed like an amazing experience. You had a great time on it, right? I mean,
I didn't
obviously,
have a great time.
not a
I had-
great
I had,
time.
I had an amazing experience.
That's
but
what I would be curious how I would deal with the mental fortitude of something like that. It just seems.
I think you do well.
Yeah, it seems very challenging. You kind of learn a different side about yourself, but I'd be open to it. It seems like as you said, a very amazing experience, but very difficult at the same time.
Yeah, it's literal torture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how I do with torture. One way
Are
to
you a
find
picky
out.
eater?
I used to be when I was a kid, like super picky. Now I'm probably the opposite. I eat almost anything.
Okay.
Now. Yeah.
Oh, that would help.
I have issues with texture is what we've come down to. I
He doesn't
don't
like mashed potatoes.
mashed potatoes, but like I like
What?
potatoes, but I don't like the like consistency of mashed potatoes. But like the thing is,
Well,
if
you
someone
might be
gave me
fucked.
mashed potatoes, I would eat mashed
would eat
potatoes.
it.
It just wouldn't be what I would first. Like I
Okay.
won't not eat anything. I just am particular about what I'll eat with textures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
right.
pretty much the side.
That's like I don't like seafood because of the texture. It's all a little
Yeah.
like, chewy and gummy for me.
I'll eat any seafood. Hawaii changed me. I love like sea
Oh, yeah.
urchin, like weird
Oh,
He
seafood
likes
stuff.
crazy things.
Yeah.
How has this whole experience been for you, Kelsey?
It's been good. I mean, I've never really been to LA to actually be able to experience it. I feel like every time we came to LA, it was like we're doing press stuff, or it was like for the show where we were pretty much locked away. That was my first time ever coming to LA, was with the show. So I feel like it's nice to be able to explore around here, meet new people. Everyone says like LA's fake, but I feel like everyone I've met has been really nice and great and normal. So I'm like, I haven't experienced that yet. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. Joey's gone, I mean, pretty much every day for most of the day with training. So I've kind of found my own groove, and I'm also still traveling. Like I went to New York last week and then had something before that. So I'm just kind of figuring out my own space here.
You're
But,
busy.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Is it?
Yeah.
And we now know that Joey asked for a dancing partner in a healthy relationship. Is that something when you guys went into the season, like you guys discussed, or did you really not even worry about it?
I
you
mean,
know?
I was the one who was like cheering him on, being like, you should do Dancing with the Stars. I think you would kill it on Dancing with the Stars. Obviously, I was right. I'm always right. But no, I feel like I was worried just because I saw how people shipped like Riley and Harry together so hard.
Mhm.
I remember I was like, oh, that we're going to have to go through that again, because with The Bachelor, I feel like people did that.
Yeah, but they leaned in.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was just like, oh gosh, is that going to be a thing? But like, I didn't really like tell him like, absolutely, you cannot go on if like you have these people or anything. But I was like, yeah, definitely, I would prefer.
In my experience, that stuff was way overhyped.
Yeah.
In terms of it's kind of however you approach it,
100%.
like if you don't want to lean in, if you want to like set an expectation with your dancing partner, like where you stand, like I have found like the pros, I'm sure you agree, they're a great group of people.
Yeah.
There have been showmances before, but it's not like The Bachelor where they're
Yeah.
like they work for the show and they're starting drama. It's nothing like that shit.
Right.
So like they're a great group of people. And
Has it been proven that some sort of romance between pro and star like makes them win or makes them go further?
for
Like,
sure?
I
Yeah.
think the reason why a lot of times they do lean into the showmance is because they want to see the development of it. They're gonna get more votes because people want to see, is it going to keep going?
Yeah.
I think that's just a theory though. I don't know if there's any like proven thing to it, but obviously Harry and Riley went really far last season. I think a lot of it was because of the social and things that they were doing. What I've noticed being in it, the pros only have so much bandwidth. Like the amount of work that they have to do to think of a routine every week, to actually get your dancer ready to go and learn to dance as quick as they need to, and then get to the level of it performing as well as it needs to on stage. Like, I don't even know how you add a showmance in there. Like, how is that even possible for some of these people? Because it's just, there's so many things you have to focus on. I can't even imagine trying to actually add into that kind of force too.
Yeah, but if you were single and your dancing partner is hot and you're
I
kinda
guess
like,
I
why
didn't
not?
realize that the pros made up all the choreography. I thought it was
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
here's a little something,
Yeah.
teach it to your star. Like, but
No.
they come up with every move.
At the end of like, you have to think of how a week works too, because by Mondays and Tuesdays, we're getting ready for that dance. They're usually on Sundays or Saturday, if we're in a good spot, are already planning
The
the
next
next
one.
week's routine, hopeful that you're going to be sticking around. And as it goes further, you start doing 2 dances. So they have even more pressure on them. But
Wow.
I give Jenna nothing but credit. Like it's wild sometimes to see how quickly she can think of stuff, how much she's putting extra time in outside of it. So as much as I'm busy, those pros are even busier with all the stuff they have to do.
And I gotta say, you're really good.
Thanks, man.
You
Yeah.
are.
I appreciate
You
it.
got moves. And what you actually, well, I only seen one of your dances and I don't really remember mine, but like what do I fucking know about like dancing? But what was clear when I watched you is like you're having fun, you're in the moment, you're smiling. Me, I was like,
Yeah.
counting my steps and I forgot to like look like I
Right.
I looked scared when I was
Well-
dancing. Literally, I looked terrified because I was like always worried about the next move. You look like you're just out there having fun, smiling, having a great time, and it really looks great.
I appreciate it, man. We figured that out on week 1. That the first couple of times you did show and tells where you had to do dances for other people was the first time that Jenna got to see me quote unquote perform. And she found out very quickly that my nervous face is a dead smile. She's like, that's great. If you're going to look uncomfortable, if you can just be like weirdly smiling the entire time, that's great for us on camera.
Awesome.
So that was the thing
was
I
like
found
this.
out. That was, no. She's like, usually people have really scared, intimidating faces. I was just like scared shitless and just smiling the entire time. She's like, that's awesome. If this is your nervous face, we have a chance to get through some of these. And I was like, okay. But yeah, I think it's confidence in the dance, just doing it enough. But I have been surprised how much it has felt comfortable to perform. You still feel those butterflies. You get very nervous before, but then when it starts, I just kind of can stay in it, I guess. And it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. Like, it's been a lot of fun.
Kelsey, is he like doing dance moves in the living room, like showing you the dance, like talent show? Like,
a little
before?
bit, yeah. Like once he tried to show me like with me, and it was so bad. I am like the opposite of a dancer. I have 2 left feet. But it's funny. After one, I think it was like the first week or second week, he came back home and he was like, Kelsey, like, I think I want to like continue dancing after all this. And I was like telling Carly, I was telling like his sister Carly about it. And I was like, Carly, like, it was so adorable the way he was like, I want to keep dancing. And she was like, yes. She was like, I love this. She was like, but if he starts making TikTok videos of him dancing in the living room, she's like, we're going to have an intervention.
I do not want to be a TikTok dancing star. I just think I actually would like to keep doing ballroom dancing.
So
It's fun.
the pros, I don't know if they still do this. It's been a few years. They've had kids. Some of them had kids. You know, maybe life's different. But the dancers, as you might suspect, do enjoy dancing. It's part of like their lives. And often they will go to like these salsa places, like in Hollywood, and they'll bring, you know, some of the stars. Like one time, it's a lot of fun. Have you ever been salsa dancing with the pros? Have you taken Kelsey?
I think that's something we definitely have to look to do. I think the schedule's been so crazy. There hasn't been like a night off for people to do stuff. But I have heard like Val and other people said that in the past, they would like, if they had a day off, a lot of them would go out and they go out to somewhere and go do like, obviously there's like line dancing or salsa dancing, or that would be really fun to be able to go do.
Usually what happens is, because it's full, like just people who know how to dance. And if you go salsa dancing, some guy will come up to Kelsey and grab her on the dance floor.
I'm sure.
And like just spin her around. It's actually quite funny and nice. And they're all lovely people there. It's
it'd be fun.
I'd just probably be stepping all over his feet.
You would just be dead weight.
How has it been? You have your fiance. Are you guys? Yeah, you're engaged. I can't keep track of all the Bachelor. I don't know. Some people aren't
It's
getting
hard to
engaged.
know
Yeah,
sometimes.
did you leave just dating?
I
Are
don't
we
know.
married?
Okay,
Are
so
we
you guys are
Yeah, we're
engaged.
engaged.
You have your fiance on Monday nights, Tuesday nights. You have your dad on Wednesday nights. What's that been like for you? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm just like so happy for my dad. He had the best time on the show, and he made so many friends, and I think he just had the best experience. I know that in the show that we were on, you sometimes have different experiences, but I think the Golden is just so much more wholesome, and they really protect these guys and like really want them to have like a good experience. And yeah, my dad definitely had that. So I'm so happy for him. And it is weird though. Like I saw him, what was it, the second episode, kiss Joan. He asked her in German, like, can I kiss you?
Yeah, what's that like?
I was like, thankfully he like gave me
She
a
got
little
a warning.
yeah,
for it.
a warning. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like freaking out. But what was I was in like the fetal position.
It was funny
like-
because you could see it was coming, and I'm watching from the side, and I see her put like her face over the pillow, and I'm like this right now, just could not wait to cheer it on, because I love this for Mark. I think he's having the best time. My favorite part of watching the show is half watching her while watching the show, because she gets so giddy when her dad's on TV, and it's just, I don't know, it's fun to see.
And Charles.
And Charles,
We love Charles, too.
We love
Charles.
Charles. We actually have.
Wait, you're interviewing
Yeah.
him? Stop. I'm so excited. I can't wait to watch that.
I would die for
I love when he
him.
talks about himself in third person.
Mhm.
Me too.
When he was like, Charles, da-da-da. I'm like,
I know.
I
if
saw
any
his
other man did
Instagram
that, I'd
the
be
other
like,
day.
you know, but I'm like,
Yeah.
Charles doing it's perfect.
Even his captions on his Instagram are like wholesome too.
Yeah.
if you
Oh, I
look
have
at
not
them.
seen his
Oh.
Instagram.
He's like, went to
Oh.
Buckingham Palace.
I think my guess is his daughter set it up for him and send him pictures to post, and then it's him that does the caption, and it's amazing.
So wholesome.
You like
so
read it in his voice, and it's just it's
What is it?
unbelievable.
What are his captions?
The last one he did, he like
Justin Bieber.
compared his time on the show to the fire that was in front of him at the mansion. It was was something about like,
Aw.
I hope it warms. I don't want to butcher it, but it's worth looking up.
It says, "Wow, thank you for all of your enthusiasm and support. I am thrilled that you all love me in this program. Just like the Bachelor Mansion fireplace, your cheerful and delightful messages warmed my heart. I hope I won't disappoint you all on this show."
Oh,
Oh,
my
I wanna
God.
cry. I feel like I'm gonna cry.
Like,
I'm like,
that's the
"What?"
best caption I've ever heard.
And he did a
warming the
carousel.
hands.
He did
He's warming his hands in front of the fire.
He's doing a carousel.
And like, look at this. This is definitely an old picture because he dyed his hair, but look at him. I love him.
Wow.
He's my favorite. I'm
I
sorry,
love
Mark.
him
We find ourselves sometimes rooting for him over Mark, and we have to catch
Are
ourselves.
Mark and Charles friends?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
He said
Yeah.
Charles was one of the funniest guys.
Yeah, they cook
in the
together.
mansion.
How many
I
followers does
know.
Charles have these
I
days?
just got
Like
10K.
20K.
Damn.
How much does he have? I can't see that.
That feels low. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go, America.
Yeah. I think
I
they
feel
need
like
to take
it's-
some time for the golden
No,
people.
what are they in like week 3 right now?
Yeah.
And he's got 20K. The guys on the regular Bachelor or Bachelorette don't get that much by this time.
This is true.
true. I feel like they
This is
really
true.
had it at the end. So I'm like,
true.
go Charles.
Way to call it up.
That's so true, though. I
It
know.
was a dumpster fire of a season.
It
though.
was indeed.
There was a lot of drama on that season, that's for sure.
From the guys, I was like, what's going on here?
How's been dancing with Jen?
It's been good. I think a lot of times people think that we interact a lot more than we actually do because you go to your rehearsal and you kind of stay in your own lane, but you do show and tells throughout the week where you'll show other people your dances. You'll kind of see them in passing, and then during blocking and actual film days, you'll be interacting a lot more. But she's doing great. She did amazing, obviously, that night that you guys
Yeah.
were there too. She was the 3rd highest score of the night. That was her best night
Yeah.
yet. I mean, I think that as everyone is, we're just kind of trying to root for Jen because she got in a very difficult situation after a season. I think dancing has been the perfect way for her to
Escape.
be able to get and do something that can kind of put good focus out there right now.
Yeah.
Has there been any update with Devin, or has he just like?
I
been,
haven't
like-
seen anything.
I think you shut the fuck up after
About time.
Yeah.
all the
The videos.
Yeah.
videos?
But he made like a video.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. No, yeah.
when the details of his past came out.
Oh, that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he was like, you know what? Maybe I'll get off social media.
Yeah.
It's not my time to be. An
When's the
influencer.
last time there's been a season that ended like this, though? Has there ever been one like this?
This bad.
Where it turned out that one of the guys was actually maybe a dangerous, horrible person as
I
opposed to
don't know.
like, a reality TV villain.
That's
Yeah, I
true.
don't think so. I don't
That's
know.
true. When you word it like that, that's true.
Yeah, I don't. Thank God, I
Yeah.
don't think they've
Yeah.
ever had that before.
Like a
you
couple
know?
times. Let me. No.
No,
Like
really-
that was the only time.
Not that I'm wishing any internet hate on anyone, but when you think about like some of the hate other people have gotten on the show, it seems disproportionate. Devin almost got let off the hook
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
Well, we're not in his DMs or comments, but
No,
I
but if
guess
you
in
do you
just the-
remember? I mean, were you guys familiar with the show when Ari was the Bachelor?
Yes.
I was not watching it, but I remember hearing that it was a huge
That
deal.
was
That
fucking
was the
Oh,
first
when?
season I ever watched.
That was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You remember the hate he got. There were
Yeah.
billboards across the country of like "fuck Ari," like literally. There was.
I didn't know that. That's
He was
crazy.
truly one of the most talked about and hated men
Right.
in America. For what? For simply like realizing that after 8 weeks he picked the wrong person, and then honestly, graciously, he did Becca a favor.
Right.
He took one for the team. Like he knew he would get hated on, didn't know how much or how the show would air it. He knew that this would catapult Becca into like being the Bachelorette. It did. They fucking hated him. And now she is happily engaged at least. Married. They have
I think
a kid.
they got married, like courthouse.
Ari and Lauren,
Mm-hmm.
they're
Okay,
happily
yeah.
married. They
Right.
got
They're
multiple kids.
the cutest
Everyone's
little kids.
happy.
Yeah.
Like the right thing happened. He
Right.
got fucking eviscerated. And honestly, Bachelor Nation owes Ari and Lauren a huge apology that I don't think they've quite gotten.
I think it's also tough because from what I heard, like I said, it seemed like in that time, it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
And
then
it's
you
so
see this.
hard to see what's going to happen down the road. And I'm sure all of them are so grateful, as you said, for what happened. It's just the quick to react because it was the first time. Or did that happen? Was Jason
No, that
season
happened.
first?
It was right after my season.
And then Jason Mesink was the first one that did that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he
he
was-
didn't get the hate like Ari
he-
did?
I don't remember that. I'm pretty sure he got hate. Actually.
I just know
Yeah.
that was that I've heard so much about those two seasons because they're the only two that like
And
changed
they've
their
worked
mind.
out. I mean,
Yeah,
it ended up
exactly.
They're all, both those couples are still together. But yeah, it's they eviscerated Ari. It was
I did
bad.
hear
It was too much.
I mean, Bachelor Nation
It
has
typically
strong
is.
opinions.
Yeah, typically is too much.
So what are you guys doing for fun? Like, what's the relationship been like? What's What's
feel like we
what's your
eat for
peaching your
fun.
pit of your
Yes.
relationship?
Yeah, like I feel like we were just like, where do you want to go for dinner? What do you want to order in? What do you want to do this? Like,
Yeah,
Do you guys like the same foods?
we do.
You can tell them
What?
how you know my like.
Yeah, I do know. I can look at a menu now and I can pick the two things that Kelsey will order or thinks about ordering, and I kind of wait to see what she says. But I'm at the point that
He'll
I
try something and be like,
definitely
yeah,
know.
you'll like this. I said that I'm not a picky eater. He thinks differently, but
I think that you know what you like, and there are some foods she doesn't agree with her. So
Yeah.
like she only has a certain bit of options, but I can tell when she's going to like something. But yeah, I'd say in our free time right now, we're not doing things that are that exciting. I am tired.
But also
She's
I
been
like-
staying busy a lot and doing a
Yeah.
lot of things with other people outside when I've been busy. And then when we get together, we've just been kind of enjoying staying in, going to a nice dinner, keeping things simple.
yeah.
We had a really crazy 3 months before Dancing with the Stars. So I think we've been really
also just like, oh,
enjoying just like
you can just
not
watch a
doing stuff for a
show.
little bit
Yeah.
because we traveled so much when we got off our season and felt like we were pretty much living nomad lifestyles and didn't really have any type of routine. So for us just to be able to like actually get a workout in every day, to be able to sit down and have a nice meal, to go to bed at a decent time and not feel, it sounds
We're going
so
to bed at like
lame.
9:30 and I'm like, it feels like midnight.
It sounds so lame, but I've
That's
noticed
love.
how much
Yeah.
it has made us really sink into just enjoying each other's company
Yeah.
more. Don't have to say much, just kind of, I don't know. We feel like a real couple, I guess is the right way to put it.
Yeah.
I was curious about that because, last time you guys were here, it was fresh off the season.
Yeah.
Not that anyone was doubting your guys' sincerity or relationship. It's just like it was so new and
Mhm.
like you never really know as someone who's been in your position. Like when I got my season ended and I went on Dancing with the Stars, we tried to put on a good face, but we were already having like some pretty serious problems.
Yeah.
How has your relationship advanced since like, the season ending, which is again still a whirlwind? My experience, I don't know what it was like for you. When we had problems while it was airing, it was always like, well, let's just wait till it's done airing because
Right.
like how can this still isn't a real relationship because like we're trying to like build a relationship while watching the whole season unfold. Like have you guys had to adjust? Has it like since coming off, has there been kind of an actual like courting period, getting to know period, and how has your relationship advanced since the last time we got to speak with you guys?
I think the last time we spoke with you guys, we were still fresh off of just the feeling of the show in general. And I think I could speak for both of us that feels like a lifetime ago now because we've been able to learn more about each other. We've talked a little bit last time about like communication styles and everything. I think the biggest difference for us right now is if something does fester, it just doesn't last as long because I understand what she needs to be able to have time. I understand what I need to be able to kind of reshift the conversation. We're just not holding on to things as much as you would usually in the beginning of a relationship because I think we just understand each other a little bit more. It is in no ways perfect. We still have our fights. We still have our little bouts that come into play. But I think that we at least understand a little bit more what each person needs to get through them and not make them last as long. And as everyone knows from The Bachelor, it's so much harder to do that when it's virtual. And we at least now have every single time the ability to be next to one another and the presence to at least work through something together.
Yeah, I would say that for me, it's just like I feel more secure in the relationship. Like I always felt like Joey loved me and, like chose me and all these things, but at the same time, it's like I think that I just had my own like internal insecurities of just like this whole process. And I think that I've just found like more security in it and like am more secure in our relationship because of like my like working through my own insecurities through it. But yeah, I feel like we just feel more normal. Also being able to meet like his aunts and uncles and like him being able to meet like my whole family and
Makes a
friends
big
that
difference.
I think that also like makes you feel a lot closer to a person to see like where they come from, who they surround themselves with. So that was really nice.
What is something, question for both of you, that you've had to learn to love about the other person? Because it's like relationships don't really start
Yeah.
until you start seeing and accepting the other person's flaws. And it can be slightly annoying, but you're like, I love you anyways.
I've said this from the beginning because I have to remind myself why I chose Kelsey in a lot of ways too. I love her emotions. I love the fact that I know exactly what she's feeling 100% of the time. But yes, there are times when you know exactly what she's feeling. It's like, man, I wish you could just be a little cooler about this one. But I love it because when she's 100% happy, it makes me even happier. I love when she is not happy with me because I don't have to question. I know she wears it on her
I'm
face.
not
I
like,
know
I'm-
exactly.
I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm
it's like,
fine.
yeah.
Fine.
No, she does.
I mean,
I'm
I'll do that,
fine.
but
And
What's
I'm
wrong?
like,
Nothing.
"Well, yeah, you're not fine.
Well,
so
but sometimes when I say I'm fine, it's more like I just need a second.
Yeah.
You know, it's like just give me a second and then we can talk about it. Because sometimes I feel like I don't even really know what I'm upset about.
But yeah,
and so I'm like, give me a second to figure it out in my brain.
I would say I've had to learn to understand that that doesn't always mean it's a positive, but I do love that about her. I really do.
Yeah.
Aw.
I don't know. I'm like, maybe
You're gonna say something stupid, and I can't wait to hear it.
no, I don't know.
What was it last time? Like your toes or something? No, what,
Not my
like,
bunions.
Oh, the bunions.
I don't know.
She
I-
called out the bunions.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like whenever he eats, sometimes whenever we're out.
Not the spaghetti.
Do you have bad
No,
table
no,
manners,
no, no.
Joey?
No,
He
I have
just-
great table
Yeah,
manners.
just whenever he's eating spaghetti, he
Not the
leans over really
spaghetti.
bad. So
I-
I just literally can't look at him. I just have to look at him.
I-
But other
I
than
don't
that,
like-
It gives you the ick.
a little
Well,
bit.
it gives the ick a little bit. I feel like if I eat spaghetti and I try to actually eat it this high, 90% of the time it splatters all over my shirt.
You get
So
down
I
there.
Yeah,
get
he gets
down
down.
there, and
Like a
every
dog,
time I
baby.
do it, she thinks I look like a dog. And as you said, the best way to describe it, it gives her the ick. I'm like, actually don't order pasta in front of her anymore because it bothers
Yes, you
her.
do. You ordered it
But
last time we were out.
well, we go to dinner last night, and this one, who's always got the best posture in the world, has stuff on her at
Bro,
all times.
Bro, change your noodle.
I know. I gotta
Change your noodle.
Change your noodle.
change
Bow
your
tie.
noodle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start bringing scissors.
Bow
and I'm
ties.
just gonna-
Yes, cutting.
Bow tie
Cut it.
is one of the most underrated noodles out there. Bow
I-
tie is real good.
I love any type of
Yeah, he
pasta,
does.
and I would choose something over spaghetti. But you know how restaurants are nowadays. You can't change
but
the
that's just
menu. You
nitpicking.
can't tell them to
I
do
feel-
something different.
Yeah.
Do you ask?
I don't like being that guy. Should I ask? Should I
Being
ask him?
like
Say, hey, can you?
judged for changing the chef's like way
Yeah,
of making a
right.
dish.
Yeah.
I'm always like, if it's not too inconvenient, honestly, tell me to fuck off. And you know, if you're
That's
gonna
fair.
spit in it, I'll just take the regular
Yeah.
noodle. But
Both.
if it offends no one, could I make a substitution?
It's not that bad. I'm not like, oh my, you gotta sleep somewhere else tonight after he eats pasta.
No, you get over it. But in
Yeah.
that moment,
Yeah, in the
yuck.
moment, I'm like, I'll talk to him and I'm just like, oh yeah. You know, like he'll be over here. I'm like, oh, anyways, like, you know.
Are you done?
Yeah. Yeah. You having a
No
break right now?
spaghetti.
No.
How about cereal?
Cereal.
No, you're good. You love cereal.
I do love cereal. No, I think I'm good. Again,
love
I think
cereal.
the only reason why I do that is because I know I would get it all over my
Yeah.
shirt if
No,
I eat like
It makes sense to
that.
me.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
No, I'd rather that than you be like a slop, like I had all over
like
your
you
shirt.
when you have stuff all over your shirt.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, I didn't know we were back on me.
Moving on.
I thought you already had
Whoa,
your
no.
little
When Nick eats cereal, there's like milk all down the chin.
Really?
It's like it's a whole.
No, Kelsey bats 100 on getting something on her dress every single time we go out to dinner.
I would
Kelsey.
I would not say that.
Question:
That's
How, without maybe going through the list, off the top of your head, how many icks have I?
Without going through the list, off the top of my head. Like recently, or like in our
Like today?
relationship, like since we woke up, or
Sure.
what
I
is
mean,
like
really,
the timeline we're working with here? I can look through the notes.
You have a notes for X.
No. I honestly like less than 10,
Yeah.
Less than 10.
20,
Okay.
Kelsey?
30.
30?
I would say maybe just
Just the pasta.
the pasta
Really?
right now. Maybe there's another. I just can't think of it. I think the pasta like
So less than 3?
yeah, I
Mm.
would say currently.
Ooh,
Wow.
we got a long way to go. I feel like that list is gonna build
Yeah.
in due time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick sent me a video of him roller skating
Oh gosh.
the other day. And
She just
it
rose
was-
pied. Ick.
because I actually feel like I need to show you. I need to see if you would be like, oh yeah,
I-
like I could
I
definitely do
wasn't-
without.
I wasn't
Show
like
his face. He's like scared.
flexing. I was letting my wife know
I'm
that I was
roller
having
skating.
fun roller skating.
I love roller skating, by the way.
Wait, what do you mean?
When I was a kid, I
You can
did
four wheel.
yeah.
Joey.
I did-
Oh my god.
I did
They're gonna start going out
Joe,
together
are you
rollerblading.
serious?
No, when I was-
I like the.
I'm
Do
telling
you
you the
want to
truth.
go to Moonlight roller
I'm
rinks?
so
or,
down.
Do you have your own skates?
I don't, but when I was a
I
kid,
do.
I was obsessed with
He's a real roller.
you know the
Natalie won't go with me.
what's the movie? Brink.
No, I'm not familiar.
So Team Pup and Suds and Team X-Blade from Disney. It's a roller skating movie where they all like become trick bladers. Like they go on
And
like
not roller blades.
no, they're doing like obviously trick skating, but I used to go to like the skate park and try to do 360s on the half pipe, and like I was obsessed with that. And then I did go to like actually, like you said, the 4-wheel. I've done that before, but I've more enjoyed like actually just going on roller skates and going to like a skate park and doing that. It's fun.
I would love to go roller skating with
Wow.
you.
I'll do it.
Will
Please
you
watch this video.
Yeah.
That's it.
I feel like
You said ick. He's not even in it.
I feel like if I saw Joey fall on roller,
That's fair.
Oh yeah, any like
I'm like,
clumsiness.
oh.
Yeah, that's
oh
it's
jeez.
bad.
You should go. That'd be a lot of fun. I would do
Tripping
that.
is also I like can't watch a trip. That one's
Well,
hard
that's
for
what
me.
I've learned about what an ick is, other than maybe the spaghetti. It's like you can't look clumsy.
Yeah. Well, I think that the spaghetti he almost does look clumsy because it's like.
Or that's what it is.
Oh, we still talking
If I were to
about
simplify,
that.
if I were to
It's great.
simplify icks, is that like you can't look like you're trying
Yeah,
to do anything. Things can't look hard for men.
that's fair.
Like even like the spaghetti. It's
Yeah.
like you leaning down trying to like
Looks like I'm really trying.
Yeah.
yeah.
If he like picked me up and was like, ugh, I would be like,
ick.
Oh yeah,
No.
like that whole trend that's like flipping.
yeah,
though,
yeah,
and,
we're
like,
not gonna try it.
If no, yeah, if it's because I've seen the people who like quick, they're like it's quick whip,
Yeah.
and if mine was like a
yeah,
and then a land, I don't know if I could move on from
yeah,
that.
no, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
That would be hard.
That's a good way to put it, though. The one I always laugh about was someone fumbling trying to pick up a ping pong ball playing pong.
Oh yeah,
Was one of the big
Like
ones they
trying
said
to,
was
like,
an
oh,
ick.
chasing
And
after
they're
it?
chasing
Oh,
after the
that's
ball.
bad,
That's exactly
yeah.
what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
You can't put any effort into anything,
No,
otherwise
yeah,
it's
yeah,
an ick.
whatever.
You have to look cool at all times.
All
or else
Like
it's a dick.
chasing after a napkin or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, those are
Yeah,
all bad.
you're in the wind and you have to go chasing down the beach and you're running after it. Yeah, ick.
Yeah.
Good.
That's
The
bad. You're
ladies
trying
want us to be
stomp
good
on
at
it.
everything without trying at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everything has to come effortlessly.
That's why we only
Otherwise,
do
ick.
things that we're good at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good thing dancing wasn't an ick. That
I
could
know.
have been
No,
a
100%.
huge one.
could have been, but it wasn't.
Yeah, imagine you trying really hard and being bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, let's
behind
hope that
every-
never happens.
Yeah,
Kelsey,
You can be
behind.
bad and not look like you're trying. You can be like, oh, I don't give a shit. Whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, it's so cool.
Kelsey, you recently made some headlines with your
Apparently.
apparently with your take. Were people just DMing you being like, what like
Yeah, people were like DMing me. People were like commenting on like so much stuff, being like, "Oh, like why are they touching each other like that or whatever?" And I'm just like, they have to touch each other to dance. I don't know if we have different
Huh?
understandings of dance, but it was that. And then some people were, after I made that video, they were like, people were obviously joking. I'm like, I don't care if it was a joke. Like, I don't even think that's funny.
yeah.
What do you mean?
You
No,
know?
no, they weren't. They were trying to be
Exactly.
fucks. They
No,
were,
yeah.
they're not joking if they're DMing
Oh, I'm
you.
joking. Kelsey's so strong.
Yeah.
Under videos of like
You're
him and
so
Jenna.
brave.
Literally, I'm like,
Okay.
I was like, okay.
Please.
Literally.
That's insane. I got a DM. I posted a mirror picture the other
Uh-huh.
day, just like a little like outfit, whatever. Wasn't that big of a deal. The outfit also like wasn't anything, innovative. And I got a DM from this girl who it said she followed me, and she said, "For the love of God, stop posting in shit outfits in front of this photo." And I was like, "Just please unfollow me."
Literally.
Like,
That's
Right.
what that's
this
what I
is
always
my
say.
content.
I'm like, actually, why do you follow me?
No, things like
You
you,
don't-
hate.
You can block me
what I
and you will
post.
never see anything I
You will
post.
never see these shit outfits.
Literally.
You'll never see this picture of Muhammad Ali. Like, I'm so sorry.
Did she respond?
No, I do believe she did unfollow
Unfollow.
me.
Yeah,
really?
Good for her.
I was gonna say majority of the time there are things I think of them as like hate follows. Like people do that on purpose. They follow people that irk them or do things, and then that's part of their fun is just DMing and saying
Talking
stuff.
shit.
Because there's the only reason why those people would follow you is because they want to stir it up. That's what they enjoy, and it's surprising because that's a wild way to spend your free time, but
Yeah.
people do it.
My
It's
favorites are
crazy.
just like whenever they get straight to the point. Like I got one that was just like, I hate you. And I was like, see, thank you. Like,
That
can
was
we, that was already
fast.
like,
It was easy to read.
Yeah,
And there
I was like, we
wasn't,
get it. You didn't have to like do a whole paragraph. This took like minimal time for
You
both of
didn't
us.
have to explain.
I didn't have to read a lot, you know.
It's like,
Straight to the point.
Did you ask why?
No, I just like, okay, cool. Okay, I like it.
Thank
This is
you,
new. Yeah.
You don't seem like you're easy to hate.
I don't know. I know. I was like, this is new. So
You've
I,
also
like,
recently, I feel like, and this is something I definitely struggle with, is showing my personality on social media. But
Yeah.
you have been really good at doing this, like
Thank
with
you.
these recent videos of like decorating the trailer.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Oh, packing his lunch. Like,
Yeah.
you're doing really good.
Thank
You're
you.
doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, I feel like people didn't really get to see that much of my personality on The Bachelor. Like I did show it, but it just I feel like they wanted to show the more like heart-wrenching parts, like me talking about my mom and things like that. I get they can only show so much, so I was like, well, I guess I can use this to show people, but I'm a little silly,
She's got a
but-
personality.
a little bit.
How do I ask this question that you can answer? Because I don't know if Mark's journey ends with Joan.
Yeah, I don't know
But-
either. I'm nervous.
You don't. You Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
He almost believed that for a
He
second.
was like, "What?"
Really? Wow. Let's assume he
Okay.
doesn't, because
Yeah.
his odds are that, like,
Yeah.
as great as Mark is and as great as Joan is, that maybe they're just not each other's person.
Mhm.
Would you support your dad being the next Golden Bachelor?
I think that if he really wanted to do that, I would. But yeah, I mean, I think that it is a lot of like responsibility and a lot of stress. I know Joey like didn't have like the easiest time, but I do know that Golden's different. So if he wanted to do it, I would definitely support him.
They seem like they're torturing the Golden contestants less than they torture
Yeah,
us.
I think they just embrace the wholesome side
Yeah.
to it. And
Yeah.
I'm always so curious on it too, because I think about it as what she was just saying. There's so many levels of the show that you get filmed, but then they choose what they want to show. And a lot of times they'll focus on the drama. And I know people love it because it's always what's talked about online. But I'm so curious what would happen if they did for one of the seasons all of our age group and they actually just tried to find the best parts and people really opening up.
It'd be boring.
Oh, you think it would be boring?
Well, the part of it is the charm of like the Charles and your dad, having life experiences and saying actually profound and interesting shit that like
Right.
I and the rest of us want to listen to, because it's like they have earned our attention
Yeah.
based off of everything they've gone through. Like I'm honestly not interested in hearing from a 27-year-old
It's very
influencer.
true.
I'm honestly kind of quite tired of hearing about all their fucking struggles.
But it's like they like I feel like the producers, they're like, oh, you only have this time. You have to tell them everything that's like ever happened to you. And sometimes it's like, I don't know. I mean, I took my time telling you. Thankfully my like one-on-one was later on whenever I told you about my mom. But it's like sometimes I'm like, was this,
The best time too.
yeah.
What's your dad's type?
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. My mom was Hispanic, 5'7".
How old's your mom?
My mom,
Yeah.
62.
How tall?
Oh, 5'7".
Oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
I feel like every time
Yeah, I
I mean,
know.
your poor dad, poor you. Like
No.
everyone is like,
is that
wait,
annoying?
my mom, my mom.
I have gotten emails. My dad started getting certified mail sent to him from
Uh-oh.
women.
Uh-oh. Well, Lisa's not creepy. She's actually a classy lady.
Oh, he said at least that's not creepy. The certified mail. I was like, I don't know about
Well,
that.
it's a little creepy.
I was like, I would say.
No,
No, yeah.
I really do want my mom to go on the next season of Golden Bachelor,
Yeah.
whether it's your dad or I love all of the men on there.
Yeah.
Well, it's
so
really
I
about
feel like
making
any of
friends.
them-
Let's be
It
real.
re-
right?
yeah.
Like,
100%.
who knows whether they would be compatible or whatever. But
Yeah, my dad
it's-
definitely made a lot of friends.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that he was most thankful for. He was like, I don't think that I could have got this experience if I didn't come. Well, that obviously that, but
That's what she said.
no, he was like, I don't think that I would have he was saying that the experience was like therapy for him, and he doesn't think
Right.
that he could have went to therapy and got the same
The
experience.
the other part of Golden too, because I always am trying to compare the two of why it feels so different. They're really good at staying present in the whole experience and actually loving every second of it. I think that's what people are also watching in real time. Is
They're
they're
very thankful
finally,
for it. Yeah.
yeah, they're finally like putting themselves first for the first time in a while, and there's just something so gravitating to that when you're watching it. You can
Sure.
just tell these guys are having the time of their lives, and I think people do that on the show we were on, but at the same time, I don't think they understand how rare of an experience it is until they get out of it.
Well, I think, part of getting older in our society tells us that, as we get older, we should take less risks, or, we should kind of settle in to whatever our life is. And I think, going on The Bachelor is truly a unique and incredible experience. And there's so many experiences within that experience that you get a collection of older people who, for the most part, a lot of their lives have been fairly routine,
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
lot of the same circle of influences and things like that. And so many new things are brought to them. Again, it's for a lot of them, it probably feels like for the first time since they went to like summer camp or college
Right.
or things where you get together and just meet. It's like a melting pot of different personalities and people you would never have met or been friends with. You get this opportunity. And you don't get that often in life,
Right.
so it's very cool to see them all get that.
It's been fun to watch. I've really liked this season so far. We
Yeah.
still have to finish this last episode. We haven't got a chance to finish it just quite yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see how it keeps goes.
All right, well, I think we gotta let you go. Are you gonna win dancing?
I
Yes.
hope. She's gonna be my number one supporter. I told you.
How can people vote for you?
So you can vote every week during the airing hours of the show, and you text Joey to 21523. You can do it 10 times, and please do it all 10 times.
What is it again?
21523.
Text Joey.
Text Joey.
Okay.
Joey.
I
10
feel like
times.
they could have made an easier number.
Right?
I don't know.
That's
Remember
fair.
the
Zero,
taxi
zero, zero.
number that's like 222222222? Like that's
Right.
an easy taxi call.
And you're on tonight, right? So people should be voting tonight.
Do it tonight. It's going to be
It's-
hair metal night tonight, and it's going to be a good one.
How
So
do you
vote
feel
tonight.
good about this dance?
I do. It's a little different. It's going to be a fun one.
What's the dance you'll be doing?
It's going to be the tango.
The tango.
Mhm.
Do you have like any like move you could show us, part of your routine?
Yeah, I can do the whole routine for you right now. No,
just have to move that pumpkin.
We just have to move
and
that.
Kelsey's gonna be my partner, so you guys get to see her dancing. in
Perfect.
public.
Perfect.
No, it's a fun one. It's hair metal night's got there's some hits this night. I think people are gonna really
You wearing
enjoy it.
makeup?
I'm wearing a mullet.
Nice.
Ooh, you did have to shave your face.
Yeah.
I did, and it's still
Sure.
growing in as we speak. I feel like a baby.
Yeah, whenever he shaved, I was like, oh. I was like, who is this man?
I
This young
know.
man.
Yeah.
in front
Do
of
we
me.
like
Totally.
short hair Joey? Or do we like long hair Joey?
I like curls.
I think there's
Let
gonna
the
be an
curls
in
go,
between.
Joe.
Yeah, we're gonna
why
keep it.
Why are we combing?
I think right now it's short
It's
enough
not-
that it would be like more. Your hair this length still will curl this much. Mine kind of
Curls
gets
less,
a little.
but I give it some. I just
give it
Zhuzh.
some.
I zhuzh. Yeah, I don't comb.
We're gonna get to your length here soon, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be. I'm going for the short on the sides, longer on the top, and we'll have some curls.
It really changed my life.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
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 Kelsey still wants it all long everywhere, but
I want it
No.
to just be. He had this like really cute pic of him at a wedding. Was it your sister's wedding?
yeah.
And it's like all like a little. He looks like a prince.
It was my Oompa Loompa hair.
No, it was not Oompa Loompa hair. It was
Oh,
not.
the Oompa Loompa.
I'll show y'all after. It was
We
really
need
cute.
to keep the sides tight.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna keep the sides tight because it just makes your face frame out a lot
Was
nicer.
was Nick the first person to ever say that about you?
No, you got it all the
you
time.
know which one? I don't know.
No.
I almost don't want to say this because it just gives him more ammo.
Yeah.
The one I got compared to a lot when I was younger was, you ever seen the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? You know the Herbie, I think is his name, the dentist that has like the swoop? That's the one I got when I have it too perfectly combed to the side. I got Herbie.
Did I hurt your feelings when I said that?
Just a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Nah,
He just. I
nah.
did like cuddle him a couple times at night while he was crying. To
I was
sleep,
like, what?
but-
Who's this Nick
Just crying
Viall
to
guy
sleep.
that keeps talking shit about me? What is happening? Everyone's saying such nice things on this season, and this guy just is tearing me down.
No, I said a lot of nice things, but no one passes.
one-
No, I
no,
said
it wasn't.
I did give you benefit. I was like Joey, if you actually listen to it, I was like, he's saying a lot of nice things about you. I was like, I actually
Who's
would
Who's the
always-
real Joey? What is going on
I
with
say
this?
one
man?
bad thing.
Well, that's
everyone
why it's the
DMs you and be like, "You believe what Nick said about you?" And you're like, "What?" And you're
I
like,
honestly just got sent so many things at that time, but then I told you immediately. I said I feel like it's easier once you get to know me, and as soon as we sat down and had a conversation, I had zero doubts that it was just all hearsay.
and you have great hair, and I
Thanks,
just want to
man.
see
You want to see its full
I
potential.
do. I mean, it's just such a waste if you
Honestly,
don't.
Yeah,
if you
full
want
head
to
of
start
hair
cutting my
here.
hair, we can figure this out.
No.
Kelsey, how often do you wear your natural hair?
Honestly, I've been wearing it like more styled recently just because it's easier to maintain. But I try and wear it as much as I can. It's just that it only looks good for like about 2 days. And I only wash my hair once a week.
And you can't brush it.
Yeah, you can't brush
You
it.
can't brush it.
It might look good the second day. It's kind of like a
Mm.
toss
I
up.
like when you
so-
have your hair crazy.
Yeah.
But then it's like you kind of start to form dreads a little bit, and you're like, I need to brush this out, but I can't
yeah.
brush this because it'll be.
Yeah.
My favorite Natalie hair is air dried.
Yeah.
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 No, I like when she doesn't do much and it just
Your
it's-
hair's wavy, right?
when I like
yeah,
the
yeah.
beach,
it's
you
kind
can
of like
tell.
yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I go to the beach, I definitely wear it natural.
During the season, I told her once that I liked her hair up, and she wore it up the rest of the season.
I
was
kept
like,
wearing it up.
Nick did that to me. He was like, I love like when you slick back your hair. And I was like, perfect. And I did it all the time. And then he was like, are you ever going to like wear your hair down? And I was
Yeah.
like, why?
No,
I thought you hated
I
it
thought
down.
that you thought I was an ugly beast.
No,
with my
I
hair.
thought you said that this was my prettiest
Gotta
transform.
be careful
So I
what you
just-
say.
I think it was the opposite. I think you said you like my hair down, and then I was like, oh, I wanted to wear my hair up for this, and then you're like, oh, I like.
I
It was one of the two. It
said
was like,
something.
I
I'm
don't know, we
also
gotta
pretty
like-
sure I was early on Kelsey.
yeah, you
You
were.
I was like,
Oh, she
I think
knew.
night
You
one.
were. It
I
was
think
night
night one.
one.
I was like, he's
Yeah.
gonna pick Kelsey.
No,
He's a
trust me,
smarty
because
pants.
everyone else was saying, obviously, all the other people, she's like, Nick got it. Nick
Yeah.
knew right
Yeah.
I was like, that's my guy.
And for the
Yeah.
record, I said my front runner's Chalk,
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
not
which I
Mark?
still feel pretty good about.
Interesting. Gotta go.
Well, I mean, only
No,
what
I'm
we
joking.
haven't seen a ton of them.
yeah, true. But sometimes
and
they
no,
hide 'em.
I honestly don't see it.
Sometimes they hide them.
They do hide them sometimes. I think Mark will go far, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, we'll
I-
see.
yeah.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. All right, guys. Well,
Yeah.
it's always great to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
We'll see you
you'll have-
Sunday probably, maybe.
We'll hopefully see you
Hopefully.
Sunday.
Fingers crossed.
You'll have to next time come over for the Packer
Yes.
game. Kelsey, Joey came on Sunday.
Bad luck, though.
It was bad luck. They lost. It's
Yeah,
okay.
well, let's
Maybe
feel
he
it
can't
out.
come back.
Let's see. Let's see.
And then we'll double date. soon.
Yeah.
He did
Looking
hold
forward to
River.
it.
I do have a photo
I
of
know.
it. It is very cute.
I know. That made me sad that I wasn't there to hold her.
Well, we can do it again.
Yes, there we go.
Perfect.
All right, well, bye.
Bye.
Gotta go.
Monica, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Excited to have you. So how has it been so far? I mean, the show's been out for a few days now. I'm sure it's been a bit of a whirlwind. What's been kind of the craziest moment since the episodes have dropped for you?
It's been crazy. My phone is on, to say it's overstimulated would be an understatement. I've heard from so many people just reaching out to, send their well wishes. And yesterday, my best friends hosted a small watch party for me, and they flew in from California and Chicago and New York, and it was just so special to watch with them. This is really cool.
I'm always fascinated for how people end up on this show, just because it's so unique. How did you end up on, or were you familiar with Love is Blind? What was your, reasoning for doing this crazy thing?
Yeah, I love the show. I've seen every season. Certainly never thought I'd be on it, but always was very in love with the concept of it as someone who very much values deep connection and talking to people. And, I just always thought it was great. And so I was watching season 4, and Tiffany and Brett, if you remember them from season 4, I remember watching and crying when they got married and looking at this woman who was at the same age as me, 36 around that time. And the same day, someone sent me a link to say, oh my gosh, Love is Blind is coming to DC. And I was like, I'm just going to apply. And I did it from my phone, filled out the application on a flight, and never thought I'd get a call back. But they reached out. It was pretty surreal.
That's crazy. And then once they reached out, were you I'm absolutely going to say yes to this if they asked me to do it? Or were you still kind of on the fence? How did you kind of go through that decision-making process once you realized you had the opportunity?
It's hard to describe, but I went through every step of that 6-month casting process, never actually thinking it was going to happen. I would say I'll do that next thing you need from me, being even when I was on the flight headed to LA, I was like, there's a mistake. So I just one day was standing in the pods and I was like, wow, I'm really here. I always knew I'd do it, but I just never really could believe it was happening. I still can't believe it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. What was your approach going in terms of, did you have a plan in terms of how you thought you might, what questions you wanted to ask? How, for me, again, I'm just fascinated, and you've kind of talked about how, men you've dated in the past, maybe you were looking for the wrong thing, looks have always mattered to me. I've always recognized that looks aren't the only thing, but it's it's certainly something that, it's one of the first things you notice type of thing. Were you truly committed to not caring or not asking questions? Did you find yourself asking questions that might give you a little bit of information about their appearance, or were you totally just not at all thinking about that?
I was truly committed to not thinking about it or talking about it. If a guy on a date tried to go there, I would say, I really don't want to know. I was more concerned as to whether or not I would actually be able to build an emotional connection with someone. I thought it was probably unlikely. What are the odds that it would actually happen for me? But I wanted to do it genuinely, not talk about looks. Now, obviously, as a woman of color, I did know going in that I wanted to at some point just talk about my race because I'm so proud of it. And I wanted someone who was, to know what they thought about race in the world and people who of all different cultures and communities. So I knew that part would come out.
Sure.
But other than that, nothing about looks.
Gotcha. Were there any odd questions that you received from some of the men that you were talking to where you felt like they're trying to figure out what I look like?
Like the classic from many seasons ago where someone asked,
can I pick
could
you up?
You sit on my shoulder?
Yeah, something like that. Can I wear you on my shoulders?
Yeah, can I wear you on my shoulders? I don't, honestly, Nick, I don't think so. Not that I recall. I don't think anyone asked, do you look like a celebrity or anything like that now?
Gotcha. What has been the biggest surprise for you? Because, there's a lot that you don't get to learn, a lot of the interactions of your peers. I'm sure you maybe heard about it, but seeing it is a totally different experience. What has surprised you the most about some of the other couples that you've seen interact?
A couple things. So I would say the biggest thing that has rocked my emotions and made tears flow out of my eyes like you wouldn't believe is hearing Tim and Alex's dates. And Tim, who's, obviously someone that I even dated in the pods. You date all the guys at the beginning. So I'd heard parts of his story, but not in that way. And him opening up to Alex, like watching that conversation, just, that was a lot. And so beautiful and special. And then also, secondly, Hannah, like I am the oldest person on the cast, not by much, but I was the oldest woman there. Hannah was the youngest woman. So just watching how maturely she's handled herself in dates, I don't know if I was that well-spoken and in control of my emotions when I was in my mid-20s as I've found her to be. So that's been pretty cool to see.
What is your read on Leo?
Damn, Leo. Like, Leo is, I've been sad by some of the things I've seen from Leo. He's not someone that I know well. But
Sure. But what has surprised you the most, or what did you find to what's your read? You seem like a very intelligent person. You seem like you read people fairly well. Just as a fan, you've watched all these seasons.
Yeah.
If you're watching it as a fan, how would you break down Leo's behavior?
It's been really hard to watch and disappointing to see some of the gaslighting that took place. And I think it was him and Hannah's last date. I really didn't like that, where he's really completely gaslighting her of like, oh yeah, no, I didn't want to pick you either. I'm picking Brittany and you should be with Nick. And I'm like, wait, what? And I was with Hannah through a lot of those conversations and her being torn through the Nick and Leo thing. And so watching that back was pretty wild to see.
For me, it was hard. It was hard to see their first interaction. When Hannah went in thinking she was in a breakup with Leo, and then this was following what we saw, a conversation between Leo and Brittany, and he's like asking her about engagement rings and things like that. And it's one thing, like, listen, it'd be one thing if you're just like, hey, like, if we get to the point, what engagement ring would you like? Even that would be a little bit premature to even bring that up if you're not sure about who you're going to pick. But the way he went about it and like made it seem like I'm going to get you something. I'm going to do this. Then he goes into the conversation with Hannah, finds out that Hannah's like probably breaking up with him. And you could tell just how uncomfortable Hannah felt, where he made it so hard for her just to be honest with him, that like he put her in such a vulnerable position where like he made her feel like the bad person just for like trying to articulate a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, after he finds out that he's committed to it, he just completely dismisses and downplays everything he said. It was just wild. My read on Leo, I'm curious because you got to meet him, you know him as a person. I know not a lot, but certainly more than us. It's just like he's so used to getting his way, I think, as like a rich kid, that it just reads very emotionally immature, where it's just like in the moment, he's only thinking about how he feels and how it's affecting him, where I don't see it as malicious or like where he's, trying to manipulate. It just seems reactive and self-centered.
Yeah. I feel like with him, he's actually someone that I don't know well at all. I think Leo and I maybe we didn't date long in the pods. Like, I really don't know him. I've never met him in person. But from what I'm seeing, and what I heard actually living through the experience and being with the women who were dating him, is I always just kind of thought like, maybe he's a little out of his league here a little bit in terms of like dating multiple women and knowing how to maybe he's never done that before. Not that you date women through a wall ever before in your life, but just the managing of having emotional connections with multiple people early into dating. It was like maybe a lack of experience there.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think we watch these shows and it's easy to have these very strong reactions, but what I find fascinating about, and maybe it's just like, I think what I love about the show is under stressful emotional situations, we don't always act the way we should. It's very easy to center our feelings and our emotions and then put them above everyone else. And I think Leo's a perfect example of that. I don't think it's malicious. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think, and maybe he wants to think he means well, but when push comes to shove, Leo prioritizes his feelings above anyone else's in the moment.
Certainly what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Could not agree with you more there.
Steven, it's funny so we're up to episode 6. We've watched it. As someone who talks for a living and talks a lot when I get going, there was that moment where you were like, I love you, but like, shut the fuck up. you got to leave space for me. And, listen, it's funny because like you said that and I almost felt called out in a sense because I'm sure there's been plenty of moments in my life where you get excited. You can tell that Steven's a very kind of thoughtful person. He wants to get stuff out. But yeah, it's really interesting how relationships like that, present themselves. But like my question to you is, was that similar to the pods or like why? Because all you're doing is talking in the pods. Was that a behavior you noticed in Steven in the pods, or was that something new that revealed itself once you met face to face?
I'm so glad you asked me that and that I'm getting a chance to answer it. It was something that had come up multiple times before.
Okay.
I said earlier, like, I love chatting. I love a chatty man. Like, it's one of the things I loved most about Steven. He's a chatter. Love it. There became a point when we were dating in the pods where I was developing really strong feelings for him. And I could see the relationship progressing. But I was really struggling to find my voice. Like, there were times where Steven just like, it would be like, ooh, 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 I would love to, and so I thought to myself, I remember reflecting in the lounge and thinking like, gosh, I really, really, really like him, but like, I think I really need to address this with him if we're going to go the distance, because I'm having a hard time like finding my footing in terms of responding or like sharing my perspective. And so I remember the first time I brought it up in the pods, it was really hard for me because I didn't want to come off as rude, but I was like, listen, we really got to talk through this. Like, I could see us going the distance, but do you know that you talk a lot, like a lot? And so it kind of continued to come up. And that night, what you see when we're in Mexico, listen, I said what I said and like meant what I said. I don't love my delivery. That was like, it was after like several drinks that night at the party. I was kind of, buzzed and feeling myself, but I totally stand by what I said. I didn't look the nicest in terms of how I said it.
I liked your delivery. I don't know. Sometimes you just have to say how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad I asked that question, and thanks for answering, because it felt like it wasn't the first time you asked him.
I'm glad you picked up on that.
And that energy kind of gave like, come on, man, but also just the way, I actually like the way you articulated it. Like, you need to leave space for me in a sense of like, that kind of energy of like sharing the room, sharing the moment, sharing the space. It's just like, and when, and I can relate to Steven. You get going, you start talking, you answer. I could picture Steven asking a question and then answering it for the person. Has he ever done that to you?
1000%. Yeah, totally.
I imagine that you would. Well, holy shit! Well, how are you just like wait for give me a chance?
Yeah. I could see my face in that conversation too that we're having in Mexico, and I can see myself just being like. And I remember thinking this at times of like, am I going to have to stop him and say like, do you know it's now been like 17 minutes without me being able to jump in? So
what prompted what I call like the man pageant? It felt like at that cocktail party, you guys got sauced up, and then it was like all the ladies, and then
flashlights.
They're bringing all the guys in one by one to like interview them. Like how did that get prompted, and who performed? Who won the pageant?
That was such a fun moment. Like we were drinks in, taking shots. That party is wild to live through, because seeing all the guys for the first time that you've dated and seeing the couples together, like, it's hard to even describe how crazy it all feels. Like, wow, that's Tyler, that's Tim. So we were having a ton of fun. And I think the conversation started because one of the guys came over, and it was either Ashley or Alex, who constantly in Mexico had their electric fan with them that has a flashlight on it. And so they were sitting there, and all of a sudden, I think she goes to turn on the fan, and the light comes on, and it looks like they're under a light. And they just said, like, let's just start grilling these guys and asking questions. So that was really funny. In terms of who performed the pageant the best, I might be a little biased, but I'm going to say Steven. What he was saying, I was like, I don't know, I just thought it was so sweet.
It was
and
cute.
to hear him say that in front of my friends, I thought it was really, really sweet.
Whose voice surprised you the most whose voice didn't match their face as much as you thought it would? Because it seemed like Garrett sounded like Garrett would look.
Well, and you had a funny bit about Nick, and you were like, he's a lot smaller than I thought. Cute. Like, and it was.
I'm curious. Thank you for bringing that up, Sierra. I especially with talking to Hannah, I thought, just to give Nick the benefit of the doubt, I thought to myself, did Nick really actually imply or actually say that he's a certain height, or did he actually just say, hey, listen, I was a kicker / punter, and Hannah just decided to hear or assume that just because this guy talks with, a lot of bravado and is certainly confident, that she just assumed he must be a certain height because she's only dated a certain height and a certain type of confidence, and she's never really given the short kings a chance. And I'm curious, as someone who met Nick in the pods and talked to the other women, like, do you think it was more Nick misleading how he is, or just, you all kind of assuming that he looked a certain way?
Okay, so I don't even know how to describe how Nick D sounded in the pods. Like, this man I was like, found myself fanning myself at times. And again, Nick is someone who is much younger than me, right? So I didn't really think, but I kept showing up for a couple dates with him because I'm like, he'd be some guys I told my age and they were like, yeah, like I can't, I couldn't see this working. Like, yeah, best of luck to you. Nick was like, my grandparents are 10 years age difference. Like, it's cool. Like, he was just so confident in his voice. So seeing him in person, I was like, whoa, he looks like his age. Like, he just looks like he's a guy who's about 10 years younger than me. I think that in terms of Hannah and the comment she made around, he said he was a different height. My opinion and perspective on that, it might be a combination. Like, I do think that he did say his height was like 6'1" or 6'2" to her, or something of that nature. I believe he said he was a height that he is not. But then I also think that I imagined, like, he just told me he played football, Nick, right? So I thought he played in like the NFL. I'm not someone who is super impressed by things like that personally. So I didn't even want to ask follow-up questions, but he made it seem that way. So I don't know. When I saw him, I was like, whoa.
So he just said he played professional football? That's it?
To me, he certainly did say he played professional football.
Wow. That's definitely misleading. Because technically, yes, he did play professional football, but like a kicker who didn't make it he looks like a kicker who didn't make it to the NFL. And I don't mean that as a slight. I mean, he's an athletic guy. He's a reasonable height.
Totally.
But like, kickers don't have to be tall, first of all. Yeah. I mean, it's like if you said I'm only a kicker, he didn't downplay. He oversold. There's a reason why he said I'm a former football player and left it at that.
As someone who knows nothing about sports, if I were in a pod and somebody says I played professional football, I'm going to be thinking you're 6'1" and like 200 something pounds. Like that's just what I know. Like,
same.
Right? Like, I wouldn't be like, maybe
totally.
there's a chance or a kicker's body is different. I don't know. You're a football player.
Well, if I were in the pods with the ladies and I would have heard kicker punter, I would have been like, there are no guarantees, ladies, that this man is that tall. Buyer beware, because you could be misinformed. But so what do you make of that? Like, in terms of what do you think that says about Nick D?
It's a good question. I don't know. I think for me, things like that, people, for me personally, like people who lead with talking about their money or talking about the fact that they used to play football, it just doesn't. I was really trying to do something different than before, and it really just wasn't impressive. It was actually the opposite of impressive to me. It was like, yeah, I'd probably then move to the bottom of my list. So I don't know. It doesn't say much other than the fact that I do think he's really proud of it, but I also think that it was weird to me that he wasn't very specific about like the football thing. That I don't know. I feel like he could have just been more direct of what that actually was.
At this point, granted, maybe we'll see it later in the season, but at this point, we just see a lot of y'all ladies talking about the kind of shock moment with Nick. Did anyone address it with Nick in terms of like his overpromise and his underdeliver?
I remember having a moment to have a conversation with him in Mexico. I addressed certain things that I was thinking about him and perhaps I had maybe said. And so, for example, like I remember Hannah at one point saying to me in the pods in the women's lounge of pods, I'm just a little nervous that Nick thinks I look like Jessica Simpson from Daisy Dukes. And that was like kind of just alarming for me of like, why is someone already making you feel insecure? Now, listen, it could be a combination of just her own insecurities or what he was saying. But like, I was able to have a conversation like that with Nick, where it was like, I was just concerned about things that Hannah was saying. And so I've been a little bit more reserved in getting to know you, because I don't know if it was what you were saying, but if you were saying things to her, that's not cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Thanks for sharing that. Before I know you have to get going soon, but with Tim and Alex, we kind of the episode 6 ends. It seems like they're about to break up. It was one of those classic things. There was a fight off camera we didn't get to see. It sounds like it was just after the party. Drinks were involved. Clearly, Tim thinks Alex said something that rubbed him the wrong way, but I can't get a read on it because Tim seems like a really nice guy. But I also, it's like the first 5 minutes of watching him, I said to Natalie, he takes himself a little too seriously. I need him to chill out just a little bit. Like he seems sincere and genuine and earnest, and he seems like his character matters to him, and these are all great qualities. But I need him to chill out. On the flip side, it does seem like Alex just a little bit likes to kind of like poke the bear and kind of critique the very middle school where when we like someone, we feel like we love to, when I give people, I love people I give shit to. But it's just like, so did you hear from either Alex or Tim of like what was said? Because I could see it both ways. I could see Tim maybe slightly overreacting, and I can also see maybe Alex getting a little drunk and saying something that was rude. What do you know, if anything?
So I love Alex to death, love her dearly. And if you remember, shortly before that the episode ends and they show that conversation between Alex and Tim, when Steven and I are talking, I'm like, did you notice something with Alex and Tim tonight? Like something felt really off to me. I don't know if you recall that, but I say that to him and he's like, you were sitting closer to them. And I'm like, I don't know, something. So when we were walking up to the rooms, I was picking up on something. They were at an argument. I don't know. That's, I just felt like there was something, maybe they got into their first fight, like something just felt very, very, very off. So yeah, I think that it's a combination of a lot of things that happened between the two of them. I'm going to let them speak on the details of that because I don't know all of them. And I certainly don't know Tim's perspective, but I do definitely think what you said about Alex's sense of humor is for sure poking the bear a little bit, and she's trying to have fun with it, but it's definitely maybe not for everyone.
Yeah. Or just like maybe you just have to build a rapport first before you kind of go down that lane. Because Tim strikes me as a guy who's pretty chill, pretty cool, but he definitely has a couple of triggers that like you may not want to go there. That's just the read I get. So but also like Val, like I think as men, sometimes we try to put on a brave face and act like nothing bothers us. But like, sometimes I feel like we can feel, disrespected or, it's like, I think in a lot of cases, for example, I think it's fairly common in relationships I've been called an asshole by every girlfriend I've ever had, and, oh, you're such a fucking asshole, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I would literally never say that to the person I'm dating, and I think sometimes guys in general are more used to like putting up with a certain type of way of communicating that they would never speak to someone. And I think sometimes like there's a line where, it might go too far, where you kind of can get comfortable talking a certain way, where you're just like, wait, can you stop calling me this? Like if you really think I am, tell me, but like, or are you just saying it, and I couldn't tell whether Tim was being, again, too sensitive or maybe she said some shit that was like not cool, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well, I know you got to go, Monica. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you. We certainly wish you the best of luck along the way. Very excited to see how your and Steven's journey unfolds. You guys are a very fascinating couple. It's been really fun getting to know you both and rooting for you both.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And also, before I go, I just wanted to say I'm a huge fan of all of you. I listen to your podcast weekly. I think that you are have such great perspective to share. And even leading up to leaving to go on the show, there's certain things that you've said along the way that have been so helpful to me as someone who's done reality, or in terms of you have doing reality television. So I just, big fan of you guys.
We really appreciate you saying that. We're fans of you. And thanks for coming on. Hopefully we'll see you again.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care, Monica.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. You know what I'm really curious about?
What?
I'm curious about like why they didn't pick Leo and Brittany.
I think from the reveal, it looked doomed.
Yeah.
Like you could tell she
Fine.
was like not
Wanted
into
to-
it, and he was overly like grabbing and.
But they went on a trip though.
But that's what I thought was weird was that like none of the other couples mentioned an alternative trip, and then he kept saying like, well, if we don't go to Mexico, we'll go to Miami. So it was like almost kind of seemed like maybe they told them that there's a chance you won't be chosen, but like
And
how
then they got engaged anyways.
and how toxic that like because
Yeah.
she was being like I don't know what I did, that I'm like they're like we want people to actually look like they're falling in love.
Has
not
this happened before, Nick, on past seasons where like not every couple is chosen?
Well, that's what I don't understand. It's like, yes, we've heard with other seasons and the couples who don't get picked like go on Instagram and be like, actually got engaged and then in air us as if they were like wronged in some way, and then
Yeah.
some of the fans are like, why did you show us? As if like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, it's a TV show. Like, like they have to make sure they have enough, like you cast more than you need kind of thing.
right.
What I didn't understand and what I found frustrating is why did you show so much of Leo and Brittany where I was invested? Fine. If someone's faking it, I read it as like maybe the producers like didn't buy into their sincerity, that maybe they were doing it for TV.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. Like let it play out. They did so much to show us, or just not show them at all. I thought to myself, well, maybe they did it because of the love triangle. That how could you show Hannah's story without showing like Leo's story, and the fact that like he was obviously going back with someone else. And I'd be willing to guess that's it. But that being said, we have seen them literally edit out people with no problem. Like they have a lot of control in the editing room. So I am curious. I want to get some answers.
I wonder if they had a conversation after the reveal with one or the other being like, okay, be for real. Like, do you think you like the other person? And like one of them said like, I don't really know. Like, I kind of felt pressured.
Well, when she
Let me
when he
ask.
was like cuddling and like hugging on her and like
He was grabbing her neck, and not in a rude way, I guess, but like it was just overly too much touch.
Well,
like
when she was being held, she literally goes, "This is the most awkward moment of my
Yes,
life," and that's where I was
uh-huh.
like, "Okay, these two aren't going to continue on," because I'm like, "This is your engagement,
yeah.
meeting your supposed husband, soon to be husband, and like you're being held by this person, and he's pretty much being like, shh, baby, don't worry, I got you,
The
I
kissing,
love you."
there was too much kissing.
Yeah, put
And
your
he was the one like
jacket.
initiating it. She looked uncomfortable.
It seemed very performative.
performative. Yeah, that's what it was. At
But
the
that's
end
what
of the day.
But yeah, and I agree with all that. But I wanted to
see
see
it
it
play
play out. I didn't want a whole like they went to Miami and broke up 2 weeks later. Leo was one of the most entertaining people in the pods.
But what will be interesting to see is if, when they do the party after the fact and they have people that were in the pods come back.
I hope they bring.
So I would
them
assume they
back.
would.
They have
Because
to.
he's going to have to want to meet Hannah. And like that would be spicy a little bit just to see what
I
happened.
get a feeling they're not going to.
Bring
You
him
think
back.
so? They brought what's his face and Jess.
But only because it was just kind of weird that like they weren't. I think it was fascinating that the show was like they weren't chosen by producers. They went on a show 2 weeks later.
Right.
I made up the storyline. They didn't get an offer. Leo was like, I'll take you to Miami. They went. She was like, okay, but everybody else went to Mexico. Why are we in Miami? And then she just realized he's not enough. That's the storyline I made up.
I'm pretty sure I'm right that they thought they were inauthentic, but they had to show it because it was so intertwined with him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. I think that's part of it.
Still slightly annoying though. But fine, call out the inauthenticity.
See the fights. Yeah.
You know,
I
Or like
agree.
maybe they were like, do you want to go to Mexico? And she was like, I don't want to share a hotel room with this person. Like,
I don't feel comfortable.
Exactly.
Maybe.
So I'm like,
Maybe he was like, I don't want to share a room with her.
who knows?
You never know. I will say about Monica before we move on from her, I really appreciated from her kind of storyline on the show so far that she started on the show being like, I prioritized men with like high jobs and like a university degree.
Mhm.
And then with Steven, she was like, I don't really care. Like, it doesn't matter.
I think they're so sweet.
Me too.
For me, it's Taylor and Garrett, and then Monica and Steven are my favorite
Yeah.
couples.
Because they're the couples that are like, they're so wholesome that you assume nothing bad's going to happen.
I'm notoriously wrong on these dating
Okay.
shows. The couples that I root for are like always the couples that like go through it, and I'm like,
So yeah, maybe we're wrong.
You know what I
We
mean?
love them.
they're misdirecting. Breaking news. It's not breaking news. Variety. Emily, friend of show, Emily Longaretti from Variety, actually spoke with Krista Creator, and he said as much. He said he found them to be inauthentic,
Oh.
and their stories were intertwined as much. But again, I would challenge Chris to be like, show us that. Just show the inauthenticity. Call it out.
do you know a thing or two about reality TV, Nick?
I want to see the inauthenticity.
Are you casting Love is Blind as well? on top of Bachelor?
No, what do you mean? No. Oh. Yeah.
You're producing that one too?
Do you think Tim and Alex are definitely breaking up?
I don't know. They have potential to stay together. That conversation was
I don't
a
think
little...
they're gonna break up. I don't think they're gonna break up right away.
It's
but
too soon.
Too soon, I
It's
agree.
too soon for a fight to that magnitude where he's literally disassociating while she's like trying to convince him it's not as bad as it was by like moving closer to him. When he said, I would rather not, and then she still scoot closer to him, I was like, oh, okay, so we don't have.
I actually think they both hate each other, and I think with Alex and Tim, no, hear me out. You're seeing. I do. I think they hate
believe
each
you.
other. And you're seeing the kind of very stereotypical behavior in a heterosexual relationship when a man wants out of a relationship and when a woman wants out of a relationship. When a man wants out of a relationship, he just chooses to annoy the fuck out of her. He wants to give her the ick. Men, we know we give you guys the ick sometimes, and we never want to be the bad guy. We never want to end the relationship because it never goes well for us. It's a lot easier for y'all to break up with us because we suck. And we would rather be the guy who gives you the ick than, I guess, anything else. Tim finds out she hates the hat. He's like, I love this hat. I'm going to get this hat. And then the ladies out there, when they want out of a relationship, what do? They hate everything about you. They just
True.
fucking nag. They fucking nitpick. They just fucking, fucking like, oh, God, you're everything. They let you know everything about you annoys them. And here you have two people just... Tim's just trying to annoy the fuck out of her. Alex is trying to let him know that she is in fact annoyed. And they're just like, come on, we know you fucking hate each other. You're both trying to just get out of this relationship. And I think we're seeing the beginning stages of
I don't
that.
think they hate each other. I think what it is,
I do.
I think what it is that they both are the person where when there's one conflict, they both disengage. So like Alex is walking out, not sharing the room. Tim is like, no, I'm not going to tolerate it. No. So it's like they both disengage. So it's like any confrontation's not going to work. So I just think it's a compatibility thing, not I hate you. Because they appreciate each other.
I think they hate each other. I'm obviously being a slightly exaggerating, but I think deep down, whether they even realize it or not, they want out.
That's not hate.
They
That's
want
just
out.
compatibility.
They don't hate. They want out. They regret getting engaged.
She's still fighting for it.
Well, I don't know.
At
Yeah,
this
but like
point.
that's a thing. It's just like it's a game they play. Tim's fighting for it too, but he's also wearing the stupid fucking hat. And it's like if he really wanted to fight for the relationship, he wouldn't have gotten the hat.
Well, Tim said I walked into the room wanting to break up. Right?
Yeah.
Like he said something along the lines of that. So it's like, is he really fighting for it? I'm not saying he's not, but
No, but he has the right to express how he feels about a
Yes,
situation. I think this whole having the conversation and blah 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 is just playing the role of caring. And like they're taking I think they really wanted to get engaged. I think there were some deep, genuine feelings between the two. And for whatever reason, there is such, when these people are in the pods, they're fucking amped the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like every emotion is just fucking intense.
the
They have
crying.
no other outlets. You know what I'm saying? There's just nowhere else for their feelings to go. And while they're still in the bubble when they go to Mexico, it's not the same, right? So like for some people, there can be like kind of a decompression, and like a kind of like, do I actually feel the way I felt in the pods? And I think with Alex and Tim, you're seeing a projection of them kind of being like, I don't know, man, like I really felt this in the pods, but it's kind of now that I'm face to face with this person, I don't know. I don't know. I think the pods really brought out what they liked about each other. And for example, with Garrett and Taylor, you're seeing them be able to build on this very strong connection outside of the pods, where with Alex and Tim, I think it's a lot of like, I don't know, man, I think most of our connection was based off what we had in the pods, and now we annoy the fuck out of each other. And I just think you're seeing this very kind of game that they're playing with each other, instead of just saying, hey, listen, my feelings are starting to change and yada yada. They're just trying to get the other person to break up with them. I think it's kind of hilarious. I'm sorry. It's just like when she's like, I hate your fashion. And he's like, well, I love my fashion. Those are two people who don't want to date.
Compatibility. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they hate each other.
But it's not it's fine. Whatever the reason their feelings have changed.
Yes.
I'm saying the word hate.
No, I know.
But like, yes,
I'm just
they
sticking
don't
with it.
like each other, or their feelings aren't as strong. Any guy in a relationship who really wants to be in a relationship, like wants their person to trust them.
Mm-hmm.
I have always taken pride in the fact that I always thought I had some kind of fashion sense, right? But it's like
Fashionable pajamas.
but it's never stopped me from like taking a note from the person I'm in a relationship with, if they're like, I really like that on you. That looks
Mhm.
nice on you. That doesn't look great on you. Things like that. And the fact that he is so like defiant and like owning his style, and it's just like an obnoxious trait that men will do when they want out.
It was the my dog comment for me where I was just like, okay, she's letting you know that she hates it. She doesn't like it. She's counting down how many times you can say it left. And so like, why do we feel the need to continue to say it?
Keeping tally.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they could just not. You know, they're antagonizing each other.
1,000%.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
1,000%. What do you think about Hannah and Nick D? And specifically, it's Mexico. I think we kind of saw another side of Hannah with
The jealousy thing.
the older woman going up to Nick and wanting to
The
like ride the
ducks.
ducks or whatnot. And the way that she retold the story to a girlfriend.
The woman like directed it at me.
Yeah, but the way that she said it made it sound like this woman was like screw this bitch. Like, and I was like, that's not how she said it at all.
It was, in Hannah's defense, slightly was that.
I see.
Like she wasn't fully lying.
If I had to pick, I'm Team Hannah.
I don't think the woman was being derogatory to her. She just
It's
said
also
you're
don't think
jealous.
so.
That's not about that
Yeah.
at all. It's about like her point was like I'm a big believer and you got to protect the relationship you're in. You got to
Sure.
prioritize the person you're in. Like when you're out in public and you're in a committed relationship, they're your priority and you need to look the part. And I don't think most relationships do this, right? Like I don't. Like Natalie and I have talked about this. Like when we talked about the other week OC when Heather had that hot mic moment, and I was like, honestly, I thought this was a sign of a healthy relationship.
Okay.
Because here are two people who are like, you know, every couple has a conflict. Every couple like will say or do things that upset their partner,
Sure.
but they're trying to like have that conversation behind closed doors because they don't want to embarrass or diminish the other person's value, right? And so Nick is in this new relationship, and yes, clearly the woman he was playing games with was like someone that shouldn't be a threat to Hannah,
Not
right?
at all. Yeah.
But the fact that it was so easy for him he's clearly flirtatious, and if he can flirt with her, he can literally flirt with anybody. And the fact that he was so willing to be flirtatious with her and flirt back, I think it's a little disrespectful.
Wait, so okay, and maybe I saw this differently, but I'm also kind of like somebody to where it is not a threat and fine if you're insecure about that, absolutely. But I'm also kind of like, where's the line of being flirtatious or just like having a fun little moment?
Conversation.
Like, I don't think he was like being like, yeah, babe, by the way, my hotel room is like, he was
I
just
think
having
that-
a nice
listen,
interaction with
I
a
don't think
stranger.
I don't think Nick did it maliciously, and I
Yeah.
don't think he was like being a creep. I just think call it immaturity. I just think he wasn't prioritizing his new fiance and her potential feelings, and he was not going out of his way to make sure that she felt prioritized and protected and things like that. Like he gave the whole like, well, I'm just being myself. And it's like, you know, she's not saying don't be fun or have fun. It's just like
She kind of
Kind of
was.
did. She was like, if
I
you
don't
go
know.
over on those ducks,
Yeah.
it's an ick. And I'm like, why is he not allowed to like have fun? And the fact of the matter is that the woman is an external additional issue to have. But it was even like her being like, I'll get grossed out by you if you go do that. Like that, if that's something he likes to do for fun, like why do we get to police what other people do?
I think it's a time and a place. I just think they literally just met. They just got engaged, rather. They just face to face. There's a lot of potential like getting to know you, insecurities and things like that. And I just think his energy should be focused on her and her needs. And if she like communicates like something, I think he should listen. Not like listen like it's a rule, but he should take a note about what's important to her
Mhm.
and show her that matters.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, but at the same time, I do think that like people should be allowed to be who they are, and if that's something that he found enjoyment in, and as I said, taking the woman completely out of the situation, like if I were like to my boyfriend, like, oh, if you wear that shirt, like I will not talk to you all night, I won't stand next to you, like that's just rude and mean. Like it's like that's who he is as a person, that's what he likes. Like who is it? Why is it my responsibility to make him feel bad about it?
Well, to a certain degree, I mean,
Ultimately, yeah.
Because that's what I'm saying. All he wanted to do was ride the ducks. He could row the ducks. It could have been over in 5 minutes and be done. But instead it was like, let's berate you for 5 minutes about how disgusting I think that is. He was like, well, I'm going to go do it anyways because there's no way you could be serious about this.
I agree with this, but also Nick's point of like she gave him every warning in that instance not to do it. So it's like it's the double-edged sword of like it goes both ways.
I get what you're saying, and yes, I think. Listen, it's like as a guy, if I were just in Nick's position, I could see why he like. Man or woman, we don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's jealous and insecure.
Or who makes
and
us feel like we can't be ourselves.
Nick doesn't do that to need to be himself. It's like he didn't have to go on those ducks. And like he can still be a playful person. He can still be an extrovert and talkative and friendly with people. But I'm saying there's a time and a place. And in this moment, instead of prioritizing his partner's needs, it was more important for him to say, I need to be who I am, and you don't get to tell me what to do.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you that I can flirt with these people without actually being a thing. You need to have a rapport with someone. Your partner needs to be secure and confident in themselves before you start like testing those limits, which I think is like Nick needs to be able to test that. Nick needs to be able to be himself, but like you have to make sure your partner feels safe and secure before you do that. And he was just like, I'm going to be me first.
Right.
And I need to see if she's willing to accept me before I make sure that she is comfortable with this environment. And like, given the environment, given the state of their relationship or where things with at, I'm a slightly more team Hannah than I am team Nick.
No, that's fine. To be fair, as I said, for that isolated situation, I still stand by what I said, but I did forget about when they were sitting on the chairs and they were all going to meet all the other cast members. And he was like, oh, I wonder what all the women look like. And that was like say it in your mind, not out loud.
It's just a little bit of like childish energy of like, and again, I don't doubt that Nick's flirting is almost always harmless, but like, I do think there's something to be said about like, once you're in a committed relationship, you don't get to say, well, I'm just a flirt. Yeah. Stop flirting.
Right.
You're not in a committed relationship before. And it doesn't matter if they're not hot. And it doesn't matter if you wouldn't date them. Like, I'm a straight man. I could still flirt with a gay man, and I don't think I should if I'm in a committed relationship. I just don't think you should be flirtatious with people. And because it creates an opportunity to like have your partner feel a certain way. And then it puts them in a position to come across as jealous with someone they shouldn't be jealous about. And it's not that they're jealous about that person. They're just wondering why you're so fucking flirtatious with this person when I'd rather have you be flirtatious with me.
Yeah.
When we're out in public, if you want to flirt with someone, fucking flirt with me.
Yeah.
Don't flirt with other people.
Okay.
And I don't think that's controlling or possessive. I think that's just like bare minimum when it comes to a relationship, especially early on.
Well, and as you said too, she did make it clear about her insecurities and whatnot. So I'm like talking about other people's appearances, or I guess flirting with a fit older woman. I could see how that would be also playing into her insecurities.
She told you, yeah.
Yeah, but still,
The part that I thought was weird was later when everybody met each other. Hannah was like, he won't talk about sex.
That
like
was weird.
every time
That
they
was
kind of
weird.
vaguely brought it up, it was like, did they have sex? Did they not have sex? Why are we even wondering?
I honestly was confused by that. I was like,
I was
they didn't have
confused.
sex. And then, it was just like, why is he being fucking weird
And like, if
about
he's
that?
immature, you would think he would like want to be like, oh, we had sex.
well,
But like
he kept saying like he has like a brand to protect, and I was like, what is it?
being like a realtor, maybe? Like,
I think everybody that is in a relationship, I just assume that like
Unfortunately, I think if you're under the age of 30, you speak in those terms about brand.
Oh.
And no, I mean, yeah, I think if you grew up on social media,
Right.
you've been, your brand matters. Like first time I heard the word like be conscious of your brand is when I got a job at Salesforce. And they were like, that was the first time I even heard the phrase like your brand and what do you stand for and how do people see you and blah, blah, blah. And that was, and it was like a corporate America in terms of like, hey, if you want to get promoted, if you want to do this, like that matters. And like that was something they kind of taught you.
I don't think I've ever used the word brand, like my brand.
brand deal.
As someone under 30.
I'm glad.
Well,
Yeah.
what did you
Thank
think
you.
about her list that was left out?
Oh, that was weird. That was intentional, right? To
That's
leave it out.
What was on the list?
It was like a list of flaws almost, or
It was
like
too into his feelings, ? Immature, ?
Did she present
self-confidence
this list to him?
no, she wrote it and then left it on a counter
on the
and-
nightstand, essentially.
or on the nightstand. So then it makes it even worse. And then he came in and saw it and read it. So
Do you think she did it on purpose?
I think it would have had to be. Like, if you're writing something so, like, not quote-unquote judgmental, you would
don't forget.
you put it away.
Yeah.
But what was her like reasoning? I feel like she tried to make it seem like it was accidental.
Yeah, and she said, like, I mean, part of the other stuff was actions speak louder than the room, respect, social awareness. Like, she kind of doubled down on what she said.
Mm-hmm. And they did sit down and talk about it, but
Yeah.
but then what did he say about delusional? There was
I'm not dealing with delusional, is what he said.
I hated that comment too, because again, I don't think it's gaslighty, right? Like, I mean, I think it's just, I think it's him being defensive. But I think a lot of people nowadays would call it gaslighting because it's like, you're flirting. And doesn't matter that this person isn't someone you wouldn't fuck. Like, you don't get to call them delusional for the fact that they're a little uncomfortable with you flirting with someone, period. It would make Hannah feel crazy for feeling the way she does and Nick's completely dismissing it as if it like this shouldn't bother you, and it's just like you don't know.
Delusional is a very strong word.
Strong,
Yeah. But he didn't say it necessarily in a way that was super aggressive.
It's funny. I remember dating situations with, one in particular where I went on like one date with this girl. And on the first date, she told me that she was a jealous person. And usually I almost took that as like a potential, like almost like a green flag where I saw it as potentially like self-awareness. And so it's like, you know what? You're probably maybe being too hard on yourself. And maybe the fact that you can own that as the self-awareness was actually better than the accusation that you're a jealous person. And then like between our first and second date, like it was clear that she was like stalking my Instagram and like asking me questions. And at this point, I'd been single for years. I have a lot of women friends, and it was like, who's this? Who's this? Who's this? Who's that? And so like, yeah, like as someone who may have been single for a certain period of time, who might have a handful of women platonic friends, like it can get very frustrating to have to defend your friendships when there's nothing wrong. I think it's a lot different than flirting with a stranger for no fucking reason in front of your partner's face, regardless whether you think they have a reason to actually be jealous.
Right.
I hope they work out, Nick and Hannah.
I will say this season more than anyone, I'm rooting for as many successful relationships. And I think this is like more just me like projecting my general fears and frustrations over dating culture in general. Like there's so much disconnect with people finding love. And what's nice about this, there seems to be a lot of good matches and potential here. And, whether it's Garrett and Taylor, Monica and Steven, Marissa and Ramses, like Tyler and Ashley, there's just a lot of people who like seem sincere about finding love, have a desire to find love, and potentially have found it with someone. And it seems to be harder than ever for people to do that. I'm really rooting for them. Hannah and Nick, I don't know.
Okay. Did you catch in the opening teaser that Ramses says, if I wasn't engaged, I'd have sex with you in the opening teaser? And it might be misleading, but it appears that Ramses is saying that comment to who knows who he's talking to.
Someone else.
Or what context.
It's interesting because Ramses right now is super emotional, in touch with his feelings. And sometimes those people have another side.
Mm-hmm.
Typically.
They're too in touch, so they're hiding another side, right?
Well,
potentially.
We, now more than ever, all of us, our society feels as though our feelings are more important than anyone else's. And we justify our behavior based off our feelings. And because we feel a certain way, we feel right. And people who are hyper emotional in tune are often people who, when they get super emotional and get commended for their emotions, will do things and feel like it's okay because they're emotional.
They lead with it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It could be a total mislead. That would be sad because, man, who said it? Marissa and Ramses, maybe of all the couples, look really great together.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot of great matches. They really do. But Marissa and Ramses really seem like a great fit. So
yeah, and as you said that, I was like, frick. And like, I want to add Ashley and Tyler to my list. I love them. They're so wholesome and cute, like crying in bed together. And I don't know, I feel like that's the whole thing is like, what's so cool about it is that people are being forthcoming about who they are and what they want when they typically blinded by seeing somebody, you want to impress them. So you try to like dish out all of these facts about yourself to make yourself seem cooler or better. But these people are actually connecting on the fact that like, these are my values. This is what I want. I want a family. I want kids. And a lot of times dating, you can't say these things until months, if not, I don't even know what the timeline is nowadays. Because I feel like situationships last years before you get a title. So I'm like saying to somebody in 3 months, at some point I want to have children. Maybe not with you, but I do want to have children. Is that something you're interested in? They're like, whoa, don't tie me down.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about this process is that it's like they actually get to know each other and present themselves authentically, and they find the person that connects with them on that level too. So
I think people should try to date like this in the real world.
Truly, it would.
Minus the whole like not being able to see each other, which would still be kind of cool.
Like, what if they like started like pop-ups or something for like the dating? Like, if you want to like be a part of
a speed round,
yeah, like getting to know somebody and just like not having to worry about it, and then
there is a business to be made out there from all the people. That's what's so crazy nowadays about love and dating is usually there's, when something isn't happening, there's usually either a lack of demand or a lack of surplus.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to love and relationships, what's so fascinating about the disconnect is the demand's never been more stronger, and the surplus, there's so many more single people than ever before because they're not matching. We have the demand, we have the supply, and it's still not happening.
Yeah.
And
Can we start it?
Sure.
Let's do it.
That's kind of my idea.
Like a Love is Blind X Nick Viall.
Or just like some kind of like, especially in big cities, like people need to interact
Mm-hmm.
and then, but be guided. Like, you know, like there's so many reasons nowadays to like say, I'm out. I got the ick. I don't know. I'm not, you know, and I think what this process does is allow people to work through those,
Not care about it.
those highs and lows and those like weird moments, you know, maybe because like, you know, Hannah and Nick absolutely could end up together because this show is always going to, when there is conflict, really, you know, to focus on it and and make you wonder, are they going to break up or they're not? I mean, for all I know, Tim and Alex are the only couple that makes it. You know, I'm pretty sure they're not going to, but because they truly hate each other. But yeah, it's that getting through that other side.
And cutting the bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, and trying and actually being able to let down your walls and share things that are vulnerable and kind of hard for you to talk about or share in a place to where you don't have somebody staring right at you being like, and then what? Or like, fuck, get me out of here. It's like, okay, no, you're just having open and honest conversations in a very shortened amount of time. But it's like the ability to open up is what I think hinders a lot of people in relationships and whatnot because they're afraid to expose something of themselves. And even then, those are typically the more beautiful parts of you. And that will help somebody relate to you. But it's like, no, I'm perfect. No, I have my shit together.
I think Sierra hit it on the head too, because it's like, not only are you like not seeing the person, but I think being able to like interact with the person without other people seeing you is like another level. Like, and they're in isolated rooms.
Yeah, there's no outside forces making you feel self-conscious about what you're sharing or what you're talking about or being willing to go to that next level. And typically you don't even see in these pods people being like, you know what, I'm not ready to have that conversation yet. They're like, okay, well, there is something, like, you know what I mean? And I think that's awesome. And I wish that people were more authentic when it comes to dating because maybe you would connect on real levels versus just superficially. I think you're good looking, so I'm going to try to do everything to hide and suppress who I am as a person because I don't want you to break up with me because heaven forbid I have feelings or opinions that you don't like.
Preach.
You know?
Well, we got to figure it out.
Gotta figure it out.
All right. Well, it is time to go. We appreciate y'all listening. We want to thank Joey, Kelsey, and Monica for joining us this episode. On Thursday, we got a great episode for you. First of all, Charles, your favorite Golden Bachelor is with us to talk about his entire experience. The charming man that he is. We are excited to talk to him. Plus, Jutes, you might know him as Demi Lovato's fiance. He's also a big reality TV fan. He's going to help us break down some Love is Blind as well, talk about his new music and his relationship with Demi. Super excited to talk with him. It's going to be a jam-packed episode. We'll see you then. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.